All right, welcome back to Dirt Sociable. We got a special podcast here with a special guest, 10-time Pro 4 champion. I think you can start guessing who this is. 2-time Pro Buggy champion. We'll have to get into that. But also 3-time Pro 2 champion, CJ Greaves.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited.
Thanks for coming on.
Super pumped. It's going to be a good conversation, good time.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's never not a good time when we get down and dirty in the basement somewhere and do a podcast. I mean, that's the same way we do ours. So that's when the best stories come out.
Absolutely. And right after a very successful season, pulling number 10 on the Pro 4 championship.
Yep. Yeah, it's been another good year. I would say out of a good bit of our years, it was one that ranks more towards the top, not only because it was number 10, but you had 90% of the Pro 4s that are left in a driving state that raced 90% of the year.
Yeah.
And we were able, until we went into points mode on the last race, I think every other weekend, maybe other than one, we won one of the days. So It was a more dominating year than previous years, and we were having fun.
Yeah.
So as a competitor, I guess I'm going to jump right in.
Jump in. Let's go.
So as a competitor, how hard was it to shut it off, to just hang back there?
Oh, at
Glen Helen.
At Glen Helen. Man, it was tough. Not only was it tough to just like hang back, but at like halfway, nobody fell out yet. So I was like starting to get a little bit worried. And then, which really didn't matter, because if I finished both days, I had it wrapped up. Really, if I finished the first day or even started the first day and started the second day, I had it wrapped up.
Yeah.
All I had to do was start both days, and there was no way Jimmy could gain enough points. But I would rather have just wrapped it up the first day, and then obviously we were 1 point shy of wrapping it up the first day, so we got to go racing anyways the second day. But it was tough, and harder than that, I'm sure Keegan can speak for it too, is I think I saw him, he was hanging back and then actually needed to turn it up a little bit to get a couple spots. After driving around at like a whole different pace for so long, it's really hard to like pick the intensity back up. Like like you almost feel lost. Like you either need to go for broke right away and have that intensity, or you set into like this mellow intensity and then you can't get out of it. Yeah. So that was the biggest thing. And then as the race went on and we got later into the second half and it kind of all started crumbling apart, it was like more relaxing and more like settled in. But it was still fun. I mean, it was, I would say, one of the more tougher things I've ever done, as far as typically, like if we end at Crandon or something, I just wait back on the start and then I go race.
Yeah.
Where that one, we committed to a game plan, along with a lot of my sponsors that were there. Had one of the first things they said was, you're not racing anybody, right? You're driving around. And especially being that it was the week after the Deegan thing, everyone saw Supercross, everyone saw what happened, right? So there's always the opportunity that something like that could happen. And that was the number one thing. Don't put yourself in a position that anybody can wreck you no matter what, right? The truck needs to drive off the track so that it can drive back on the track tomorrow. We don't really give a shit what place you start. So that was one of my bosses from Toyota, been with us forever, since before I even raced. That was the first thing he said to me when he walked up. You're staying in the back, right? Yep. So to stay committed to it was hard. It was like one of those things when I used to run the super late models with Kyle Busch's team. It was like that. We would set a game plan in the trailer beforehand, and it didn't matter if it didn't work or not. You stuck to it the whole entire race. Yeah. Like we ran at Greenville Pickens one week, and it's really abrasive on tires, like super, super abrasive. And the whole goal was to save tires. So you basically let everyone go, and you carried like 2 or 3 tenths slower than them until they caught you, and then you just matched them. So every lap, they would have 2 stopwatch going, and they would do the leader and you. And then they'd go, all right, 2 tenths quicker. All right, you went too fast, back it down 2 tenths. And then every time there's a caution, you do it again, and you do it again. And if there's a bunch of cautions, you'd have, by the time you got to the end of the race, you'd have 25 lap better tires. And then whenever you thought that was going to be the last caution, you take off in your race.
That's got to be agonizing as a driver.
Oh, it's terrible. It was the fucking worst thing.
Because you're almost a remote-controlled car at that point.
You are, 100%. That's why I ultimately had a great opportunity. I look back at it now, and maybe I would choose a different route, but I I had the opportunity to stay there and go NASCAR, and I couldn't do it. Like, it was so tough to sit in there and more or less just be the robot that it just wasn't for me. So I had experience on committing to a plan and just staying to it, whether you liked it or not. Just sticking to the plan. Stick to the plan. Let it ride out for what it is. And that's what we did on Friday. And then Saturday we got to go race, but the track provided close racing, but not very good passing racing.
Yeah, pretty narrow and.
Yeah, and it was wide. It was just super one line. Like, the best way to put it is a couple people that don't know a ton about racing said it looks too busy. It's literally turn, jump, turn, jump, turn, jump, turn, jump. There was nowhere ever, like, a couple of the straightaways, they would have been better off to just, like, take the jumps out. Like, maybe after the 6-pack or 8-pack or whatever it was in the infield and you hang that right-hander, maybe just left that whole part of straightaway or something like that. So you could actually get some speed, and, like, if you got next to somebody, set somebody up. With that double being there, it was super one line on coming into the turn. Everyone kind of set up the same way. And that's how it was almost every turn, because there was a jump either coming out of it or going into it.
Yeah.
So there was one preferred line where you wanted to hit the jump, which ultimately, like, stuck us all to it. And UTVs, trucks, everything was the same. Like, the top 8 guys were within like half a second. So there was no separation. It made for great watching, right? Because it was tight the whole time. But if you look back on Saturday, every class other than pro stock, the winner started on the pole or the front row, led the first lap.
Yeah. Yeah, it was definitely looked like, from watching, it was tough to pass. And you saw RJ like trying to take a different line out of that jump, and definitely wasn't the smart line to run.
Yeah, I mean, you could try stuff. And even if you got next to him, like I got next to RJ a couple times, he was trying to get by Jimmy at the same time. We were kind of stacked up there, but the turn went the opposite way the next time. Yeah. So whether you got under them or whatever, they just beat you to the next turn, or it went the other way and they had the inside again. So there was spots that, like, the outside could have been faster through the turn, but they controlled the next turn then, and they just pushed you right back out, and then you filed back in. So it was great for spectators. It popped off, honestly, for spectator-wise. It was packed house. Hopefully next year, I think I had some of the promoter guys come and talk to me right after the race, and we talked about, like, it's a track that needs a split lane, either a split lane or a joker lane.
Yeah.
And we even said there's already, like, that sportsman lane that they did. I bet that was almost the same speed as the double, like, just the way it was. And maybe that would be a cool thing, is go into turn 2 and halfway through it there's a berm and you got to pick. You're either going around it or you're going through the jumps.
Yeah,
like,
I was just about to
choose.
say, if you had that as a split lane or a joker, then the entry to that would have to be like a dedicated line, because or else guys are going to want to swing that outside
and then
and
cut you off
in.
and run into each other. And it just won't work. But I think you do that and you leave it open every lap instead of doing it like one lap. Because if you do it one lap, it either has to be way faster or way slower. That's the only way a joker works. If it's the same speed, what's the point, right? Yeah, you had to do it and you had to go over there. But realistically, the whole point of a joker working is, say you catch somebody and it's faster and you can't get around them, you might be able to get around them. Or if it's a lot slower and you fall back, maybe you can make some time up because you're not chasing them anymore. And then when they take it, you'll come out ahead of them, right? There's got to be like a big time difference that makes a difference. Otherwise, you might as well just leave it open every lap, and maybe it'll make the racing better. I don't know.
Yeah.
Passing wise.
Yeah, they got they got a few months to think about it and decide what they want to do out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
they have more space too. Like, there was a lot of field, like, I can't call it field because it's just desert. There's a lot of desert that was kind of surrounding it, except like right behind it is like the police deal.
Yeah.
But it looks like if you're looking at the track off to the left, there might be space to move it open a little bit more.
The hard part is they said, so like majority of the track, talking to Derek, is hauled in dirt.
Yeah.
So once we broke through the dirt that they brought in, it's just lake bed. It's beach wash. It's mountain wash. So it's dog shit. So like, you can't water it, you can't pack it, you can't do nothing with it. So they don't want to move anything or change anything because it has like that dirt covering it to try to pack it in.
I was there in spring. I was down in Cali for a trip, and I decided to stop in there. And that was when the gapper jump was still there. Like they didn't even tear down the gap jump yet.
That was for Nitrocross?
I don't know.
I think Nitrocross ran there and
they
they always do gaps.
Yeah. And like the soil, it was like misted that morning. And the soil was what I can describe as like sugar cookie dough.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like moist, but it flexed as you stepped in it. But it wasn't like squeezing out water.
Interesting.
It was really weird. And I was like, well, this is going to suck. But then they brought in a bunch of soil, like that bunch of sand on the left side again if you're looking at the track.
That just didn't do nothing. It was cool the first day. The first Friday, I don't know if they dug in the first couple rollers, like to enhance them, and then they got really nasty, or if they developed on their own. I don't think they developed on their own, but I think it would have been sweet if they would have like actually built in some like slight rollers, and then they would have dug out. Yeah. On Friday, that was actually a cool spot because we literally used all of the right to Adrian going off the track on the left to go around. I
was going to say all of the pits too. I think you used.
Yeah, and the pits. So, and then on Saturday, they packed it back in and just made it tight, and we all ran one line down the right side.
Yeah,
the pits were super sketchy from what I heard.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that on the first day. The pits have always been in the infield right there as long as I've ever known or been there. Have always been on the infield right there because it's like a pretty safe spot away from everything. Where it was pretty nasty. I mean, you're coming out of a left-hander with a big booter, and then into that spot ended up being really rough, and you couldn't see. So it was better on Saturday, but if it continues to be a thing, which I think we all know it's gonna, we need to do a little bit better on lights.
Yeah. I mean, it was like I was counting how many poles or whatever you want to call them, the generator lights, and then that big crane with a LED stick on it. And it was like, dang, there's a lot here, but we need like probably 50% more. Or another crane with a glow stick on it.
Yeah.
As spectators, it looked really good, but then when you watch the like replay back in the live stream, you're like, whoa, it's really dark in some areas that you couldn't see from the stands.
Yeah, so Saturday was a lot better. We talked about it in the drivers' meeting, and basically any person that had a concern about light and had a reasonable answer of where to move a light, they did it. No questions asked.
Okay.
And if they had a question about it, they brought you up there. I had talked to them about a couple different spots that they ended up having the lights on I think just not racing. They don't know what we're looking for, right? That's the hardest part. They're in the bleachers, and they turn this light on, and it's flooding across the track, and they think, oh, sweet, that's where it needs to be.
Yeah,
well, like a lot of the lights were on the outside of the track. So once you, like, were ahead of the light, your shadow covered the track.
Oh, yeah.
There was actually no light. So we started moving them more to the inside. Like, basically, the straightaways are what they are. Yeah. Like, the straightaways, we could see fine. The straightaways were lit up really, really good. It was the infield turns, like, coming onto the front stretch, and then the left-hander before that, that were both really dark. And all the lights were on, like, the outside, and there was only one on the inside. I think as they get, like, a little bit more understanding on what we're looking for, they'll start putting them more on the inside and shining, like, straight down. You need to just flood the bottom. Like, really, we only use the bottom half of the track. Like, that's just the way it is, right? Yeah. So the lights got better Saturday, for sure. They moved a bunch. They did whatever. Like I said, anything that was reasonable, they did it, and it helped. So that's one thing I think this year as a whole they did a lot better is a lot of times they brought the drivers together and they did a driver's vote. And we were saying that last year, like, instead of you guys making the decision, let us make the decision. If it don't work, we ain't coming after you. We're the ones who voted on it and wanted to do it that way. So they did come to us a lot more this year. And I think overall it helped. It made a lot of people feel more confident in it all and in the decisions that were made that day or for the next day, whether people liked it or not. They were there. Everyone voted on it and was like, okay, sweet. Like, let's go race or let's go do it. And overall it was a lot better.
Yeah, and not to open the can of worms of the series, but I think like the last year or season and a half, it's definitely been on the improvement scale.
Yeah.
We haven't been going downhill much, I don't think.
No, I think overall, I think really the only thing anyone's really got to bitch about right now is just the purse, right?
Yeah, which I think you could add many zeros to that and people are still going to bitch about it.
Well, Yeah, we just won't go down that road.
Yeah,
right
let's
now.
not go down that
We're
road.
just not going to go there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, overall it's been better. They've been listening. A lot of things that we brought up as racers, as drivers, as concerns, team owners, whatever, they changed. And with change, some of it's going to work, some of it's not, right? That's the way it goes. But at least they're trying to do something different. And majority of the time, it seemed to be helping, and just asking the drivers more and communicating with the drivers more, I think, is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So on the course of night racing, do you think more tracks need to add a night race, or?
Yeah, we enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the whole practice, qualify, race at night, and then not race till the next night, the next day. I think that was good. My crew actually liked it too. Other than, if you're going to do it, you have to do it both days.
Okay.
And there's not really a way to do it when we race 27 fucking classes.
True.
Yeah, it wasn't like there was still sportsman stuff on the Glen Helen
right?
schedule, but it was minimal.
Yeah, I think
And
there's
they
only
almost-
3. They canceled everything other than 61 or class 11,
Yep.
1600, and carts.
Yeah.
Everything else got canceled.
Yeah.
Which,
So-
and even 1600, I think, had like 2 or 3 cars.
I didn't watch it. I watched
Class
the one-
11 had
class
4
11.
or 5.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
6, but
I watched Class 11 a little bit, but
I
other
watched,
than that,
I watched them all, but I was just there to see how Rayford was going to do it.
was that? Does he own that?
No, so
How'd that come about? I didn't even know it was him in there until
yeah,
later.
So driver bought that for Nancy Van den Heuvel.
Dan.
Yeah, Dan Van den Heuvel bought that for Nancy. So we might see Nancy in that thing come fall Grandin.
Ow.
Yeah.
Ow.
She's raced in the past. But
Yeah, I mean the suspension actually looks pretty decent on them now.
They-
They hit every double on Saturday, other than the last 3 of the 4-pack. They doubled in. Actually, some of the leaders were doing the first 2 doubles and not the second 2, and they doubled everything else in a bug. So that was pretty cool.
yeah.
it was cool to see. I don't know how it was like as a driver to feel that though.
I put a camera.
Ask Rayford.
I put a camera in Rayford's,
There's
but
probably headbanging in there.
I didn't pull everything off yet, so we'll have to double check that. But all right, so cycling back to how we usually start.
Okay.
Engine warm up. It's kind of a brief overview. I think if anybody knows short course off road or off road in general, they probably know you. But just kind of like a quick short course version of your racing career.
You're asking me that, or you're gonna tell me?
No, I'm asking you that.
Oh,
Just like a quick overview, and then we got a bunch of questions that will probably peel it wide open.
okay. I race off road. Started in a buggy, and now I race a Pro 4. That's your brief overview.
Perfect. All righty, then we go sight lap, and these are 6 questions we ask every single person we have on. So
Okay.
it's kind of a nice, like, you can cross compare and see what people do.
Okay.
And then David starts off with number 1 there.
What is your favorite track of all time that you raced on?
Probably Redbud, like the OG Redbud when it was on the motocross track, and we had that big triple, which I don't remember if Super Buggy wasn't allowed to do it, but I did it in practice a couple times, and we did it in Pro Light. To me, that track was pretty sweet, only because it was like unique, it was different. It went through the woods,
Yeah.
like it passed pretty good. It got really rough. There was a lot of different things. Matt Gerald, probably not a fan of that track, but if anyone else that raced there, it had a lot of character, and anything that has a lot of character, I usually tend to enjoy more.
Yeah, I went to Redbud I think 2 times, maybe 3 as a spectator, and both times it was fun to watch and through the woods. Yeah,
The Gen 2 one was pretty good too. It was decent.
I raced the Gen 2 one. That was one that they made in like a week time or whatever it was.
Yeah, in the parking lot, it
Parking
had the
lot.
uphill triple
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Yeah, I actually enjoyed that one too. I didn't run it in a. Maybe I did run it in a big truck. If it would have been bigger, it was probably going to be better. Like they had more time and it was more permanent. It's hard when it's not permanent, right? So when they know they're just going to tear it down next week, they're not probably going to put a huge effort into making it use more space that they got to fix. But overall, enjoyed the Redbuds.
Yeah, it
I
would
did too.
be.
It was like a rough, rutted out track, and in my time when I came from UTVs, it was like endurance racing. So like a rough, rutted out track. That was
fun.
actually my best finish. I got a 4th there.
Nice.
What about in the 2025 season now, looking back? What was your favorite track on the year?
Probably ERX. I always enjoy ERX. I think it races well. They do the best track prep out of anybody, which they've been sharing their love and knowledge of Derek in their dirt soil with everybody. So thank you. I think it helped. It's been helping all around. One thing that Derek does really, really well is he doesn't drive the water trucks, but if you ever stand up when they're spotting and he's up there, he's telling them when to turn it on, when to turn it off, what side to do the whole time. Where other tracks just turn it on and they fucking mud the whole thing and
flood it out.
Good luck, everybody.
So
I like ERX.
ERX crew took care of Glen Helen, didn't they?
Yep. They took care of Glen Helen, and I'm pretty sure they had some say in some of the new dirt that's been getting mixed into Crandon to help with that.
If they could have some say in that water truck at Crandon, that'd be all right too.
Right. So what happened was probably 5 years ago now, everybody wanted clay tracks, full clay. Everybody hauled in all clay. And they did it because it was less track maintenance. Bark River used to be hands down my favorite track. It still is equally as favorite as ERX. I liked it more when it was more technical, like after Taco Bell, when it was the 3 whoops, to me was more fun. Along the road, when we had some sort of jump there, to me also more fun than when they just got rid of it altogether. And then you go back probably the years of Keegan and I battling in Pro 2 when there was like an actual cushion that developed, like holes developed, things like that. I enjoyed it more then. Then the clay tracks came about, probably, like I said, in the last 5 years, 6 years. Everybody wanted clay because there was no maintenance. The track just smooths off, burns off, grade some dirt back on, pour some water on it, go race. You don't actually have to take care of it. And then I think they all learned the hard way that now it's either muddy or dusty. And when it's wet, you can't stop, you can't turn, you can't do nothing. The racing's terrible. And then when you don't water it, it's dusty. There's like no in between.
Yeah.
So ERX was the first one to kind of bring the sand in, mix it all up, do dirtology or whatever they call that mix that they do, and provide like that happy medium, something that stays hard and doesn't bust apart like crazy, but yet soaks up water, and you can water it and go race on it, and it feels good right out of the gate. So I'm glad that they're having an influence on everybody else's tracks.
Well, and once you put clay down, it is really tough to get the clay back out.
That's what I've been told. You just keep dumping sand in it and trying to till it up, and just hopefully eventually it starts breaking apart again, that it can soak up water.
And that's where like Circle Track has a tough time. Like they blue groove out on the clay and Mississippi mud. So when you go to Boone and all that's way better, but you can't take Mississippi mud up here and put it on the tracks locally because of all the clay. Like it doesn't mix in well. So
takes a while.
Yep.
Takes a while.
I mean, let's face it, Bark River's right-hander bull turn, or whatever you want to call it, the ring turn, that's pretty much like an oval track cut in half.
What's that? The right-hander right after the start? Right in front of everybody?
How much it glosses out, and it seems like it's
I mean, that's the whole track right now.
Yeah,
honestly. There ain't a whole lot of the track that doesn't just fully turn black. Like this year, it was black. Like you could see it from the bleachers. You could see the rubber. Some of the days, tires were smoking. Like you could smell rubber when race cars went by. Like we're getting a little carried away. Yeah. But so it is what it is. We're all racing on the same thing. But that's why my decision is the way it is on tracks.
Nice. So kind of what track is the toughest to drive? It's kind of the same line there, but
I don't know. I don't know that any of them to me are any tougher than the other. I guess you would separate them out like passing, tracks that are harder to pass. Lena, also one of my favorite tracks, like right up there. I like all of them. Honestly, I like all the tracks. I like going and racing different places. If we race the same place all the time, I'd get real sick of it. I have a really short attention span, and I don't like to practice or do anything because I get bored and then I don't want to do it no more.
So how about old school tracks like Houston or Charlotte?
Houston. I loved all those. Like the old Chicagoland that everybody hated, that had all them. Like when Jeff Nordstrom built all the tracks, like not saying they were perfect out of the gate, right?
Yeah.
when it was Traxxas, but they had like cool different stuff. We had like the moguls. We had like coming off the oval, there would usually be, or into the right-hander on the infield, a lot of the stock car tracks, there would be like a double with a roller after it. And in Pro 2 and Pro 4, some guys would try to triple. There was times that we were tripling and making it work, and you'd blow the turn a little bit. But they were like gentle, right? They didn't hurt nobody, but it was just like that extra added technicality that like gave you diverse options. Yeah. That's what I think our sport really misses right now, is basically if you can't hit the jump wide open, do something with it until everybody can hit it wide open, and then everyone's happy. Like, so
you think we need tougher tracks?
I don't think I think we have a lot of kick-ass layouts. I think it's time that, like Glen Helen, it was maybe carried away a little bit with the amount of doubles in it and stuff, but I mean, it made you have something. It made you have timing. It made you have rhythm. They didn't change it. They stayed to it. It got better the second day. They mellowed out some of the faces so we could just carry more speed, and it raced better that way. But I think like a lot of tracks that we have a really cool layout, and you could get a little bit more creative. Another thing that they did at Glen Helen that we suggested was in the left-hander turn 2, they put a finger on the bottom. Okay, and in practice and qualifying, every single class drove around the bottom. You went to the race, there's people running basically on the outside edge of the finger to all the way around the finger. Almost all the Pro 2s were going all the way around it or right against the wall. Like UTVs were going right against the wall. We had guys going against the wall and at the top and trying to go around the finger or over the finger but on the flat. So that's something we used to do a lot of, is when there's a dominant line, put a finger on it. Put a finger on it. Make people go around it. Make it change, right? That's something that a lot of tracks could do that would take a minimal effort, and it would probably change the whole way that turn itself raced.
I think Park River's finger at the finish line was probably a really good example of making a line move out. Because like that last lap, you're taking the finger because you can't move. You can't open yourself up.
Right, you're taking the finger, and if you got a good, especially when the double or the tabletop was before it, there was people doing both, right? Because sometimes you wanted to hit the finger, but you couldn't get there. Yeah. You messed up the double and you swept wide and whatever. But I just think that some tracks can be a little bit more, think outside the box, right? Yeah. Let's get creative again and start changing some stuff and make the tracks race better. Like let's make the turn outside dominant for once and see what happens, right? Nobody's tried to do that lately. Like nobody tries to make the outside faster. Yeah. Let's keep slowing the inside down until the outside is the dominant line. And it changes per class, right? Like the finger in stock UTV was still the dominant line going over the finger. So every class, the line changed. When it wasn't there, every class ran around the bottom. So I think you could ask a lot of drivers in a lot of different classes, and they would all have a similar opinion that we could do things to make the track more racy. Every track, right? There's not one in particular that I'm trying to point out or anything like that. There's something you could do at every track that has a dominant line that would change the way it races. Even if you didn't even put it on the turn and you maybe put it like on the entry or something like that changed things. That's something that they used to do a lot of. Anytime it was a one-lane track, all right, let's go slow down the dominant line.
Yeah. Or even like between like a Friday, Saturday, whatever it is, like that night, make one or two small changes that changes the lineup. So different field, different days.
Yeah, and you don't have to go change the jumps, right? That all the jumps that take a dozer and an excavator and a week to make it right. A finger literally takes, if you got the dirt there or a decent operator, you can scrape up some dirt and you hardly even notice, and it's enough. It doesn't have to be 15 feet tall by 30 feet wide. It needs to be 2 feet tall, really, and it's enough to upset the vehicle and slow it down and might make people go around it.
What would you do with Ziegler Cat turn? Because when you said like corners that we don't even use the top on, that one comes to mind. Like that one, you use a little bit of the top when you have entry, but it seems like...
Oh, you're talking about the Ziegler.
Unless you're Jimmy Henderson that loses steering, then you don't really use the top.
And the wall.
Yeah.
I think if you put a finger on the bottom of it, we'd go around it.
Yeah.
Or something would have to change with that roller. That would be the hard part, though, is because even if you like the roller coming up the hill, if you made it really big for majority of it and then like tapered it off real quick, or like a step in it where 3/4 of it was 3 feet higher and then just like one truck length all the way out by the wall was lower, maybe people would jump up there and it would force you out there. And if you went on the inside, you would actually catch air and then you would land up there.
Okay.
Maybe that would be enough.
I think even moving like the boundary apex out, because like when you come off the like launch jump, the whatever you want to call it,
The flyaway.
and then
Do the
it
right
seems
hander
like
at the bottom.
everybody's setting up on the left side and trying to hit that upwards so that you're kind of
On the
almost
right.
you're landing almost on the center for that turn.
Into Ziegler.
Yes.
So basically we hit the flyaway on the left, all the way on the left, and then when we go down and we hit the turn at the bottom, we try to actually move all the way back to the right
Oh,
so that when you're going up the hill, you can set it and end up on the bottom.
yeah.
But I think if you move the inside out, I think it's going to become more one line because it's going to be easier to get to the bottom.
Yeah.
You need to make it harder to get to the bottom, right? That'll open up the bottom, is you make it harder to get there. If you put a big roller on the inside or like from the middle to the left and you actually have to check up, otherwise you're going to like out jump it and miss the turn, because obviously no such thing as air brakes. Everyone will probably end up running the top. But the hard part is depending on the day and the track in the class, Pro 2 runs the whole thing, right? They run pretty dang high. I've seen them all the way up by the wall midway to exit this year and probably last year, but they're probably the only class that runs that high.
Yeah.
But if you made the roller taller in like a goofy taper maybe, that might do it.
Yeah.
Maybe, something like that.
Track brainstorming. ERX, you listening?
Oh, they're always listening. Heidi's always listening.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Yeah. So I know you go up to at least spot for a few classes and things like that, or you're busy, but what's one class you go up to the grandstands to watch or try to?
I try to watch Sportsman UTV and Pro-Am UTV and Super Stock Truck. Those are my go-tos. If I have time, those are my go-tos.
Nice.
Is some of that to do with like watching the lines for like the UTVs, or just like
Most of it's customer based.
Makes sense.
That's where most of our customers race. So I like to go watch them and see how they do and see if there's any way I can help them be better.
I got to ask, then, Super Stock Truck customer?
No customers in Super Stock. I like Nick Bing in Super Stock. Obviously, he's right next to us. Well, not right next to us, but pretty close to us, just down the road of like a couple miles. And then I like watching Corey Holcher. I like watching all of them, honestly. A lot of the days, there's usually a good race to be had.
Yeah.
For a little while, anyways.
For a little while.
Well, I mean, it seems like, I don't know who the orange one is that has the really goofy tall shocks on the back. But he leads like the majority of the first 2 laps of every race, and then eventually makes a mistake and goes back. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of who it is either off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't want
he's got a black and orange one.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Big old tall shocks on the back.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he's fast for like 3 laps. And then I don't know if he gets tired or he makes mistakes or he just can't hold on or mentally can't do it. I don't know. But he's really good for like 2 or 3 laps.
Setup's
I
good
can-
for 3 laps.
I could make a Pro 4 joke there, but maybe we'll skip that one.
Probably know where you're going with that.
Who is a legend of this sport that has high impact but doesn't always get recognized?
Like currently? Or just in general?
A legend, general. So anybody that, has a high impact but doesn't always like fall on people's minds.
I would say Rob Mack and or Carl Renzen fall in that. Not that obviously Rob Mack's in the Off-Road Hall of Fame, but majority of the people you say Rob Mack and they don't even know what his part was in off-road racing. I mean, he drove like the first Pro 4 that was like cool on air shocks that about beat the shit out of him every single time he drove it, but would like finish, right? There was a Nye Frank built truck and was like one of the first ones that was just kind of like different from everything else. And a lot of that goes under the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we've been walking around interviewing people, like top 5, top 3, whatever we've been doing, like I think that's something that's come up, like just with Rob Mack. A lot of people, like you said, don't know all the backstory and things.
They all
like
think
that.
he's just a desert guy.
Yeah. Didn't you guys? Wasn't he in your guys' shop like early years?
A ton.
Yeah.
Like growing up, since I was, I don't know, probably since I could walk, maybe a little after that. He worked out of our shop forever.
Yeah.
He used to take me on the Cub and do wheelies up and down the road.
Nice.
And then he tried to kill me once.
Just once.
Just one time, not on purpose, but he was moving the engine crane, same engine crane we actually have right now, and I was standing on the side of it, like holding on and going for a ride, and the thing tipped over, and it fucking almost crushed me. Like,
Tipped on your side?
yep.
Oh, shit.
Like inches away from smashing my head with the engine crane part. There was no engine on it, but the big arm that comes off, when it tipped over and I fell, it like went just over the top of my head.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So square inch tubing, maybe add 2 inches to those wheels.
Yeah, something in the back. Well, it's a little 3-wheeler, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
Maybe modify that thing when you get home.
Nah. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
There you go.
So 10 years from now, when you look back, what do you want to say you accomplished in off-road racing?
Like 10 years, like in the future?
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're 40 then.
Yeah, I'll be 40. I don't know. What do I like? What's my goal?
Yeah.
I'm kind of a person that doesn't really even have goals or like favorites or anything. I'm like food, drinks, you name it. I'm just like, sure, whatever. Like,
There goes
and
half of our questions.
like literally, you ask me anything favorite, I'm just gonna be like, I don't know. I don't have like a favorite anything, no matter what it is. Like I can go to the same place to eat or whatever, and every day I'll walk in and look at the menu like I've never been there before, and every day I'll get something else. That is my perspective on life right
That's
there across
nice.
the board. So yeah, I mean, there was like, if you would have asked me 5 years ago now if I had any goals for short course, I would have told you no. And still right now, no. I mean, the goal was to be good, right? To make it,
Check.
right? Make a living out of it and do it to the point that you have fun and can grow a business out of it and move on and continue like your legacy in it. But I don't sit down and be like, this is what I want to do. I go out there and I drive. My perspective on it is I drive the best I can that day. And if 5th place is all I got that day, that's all I'm going to do. If I feel like I'm driving hard and if I drive any harder, I'm just going to crash, I'm just not going to go there. And that's what I'm going to drive that day. And luckily my mechanic and I are on the same page as far as like, you give me your best, I'll give you my best, and whatever it is that day, it is. And that's kind of the way I go about every year is I go out on the track. I don't really care unless there's like a game plan and we're chasing points the last race of the year or something like that. Outside of that, it's I'm going to go out there and do my best, and whatever we end up this year, that's what it is. And when we're done, then we're done for the day and start all over again the next day. And it's like a brand new day. Like I've never done it before and all jazzed up to do it again. So
Nice. That's
Man,
awesome.
I want your mindset.
I'm telling you, like a squirrel, I think, looks at me and is like, that guy has a short attention span.
Probably not lying.
No, for surely not. That's why I have a lot of hobbies. I like to say I know a little about a lot of things, but I don't know a whole lot about anything.
Yeah.
Because by the time, like, if I have a hobby, it's like I learned it this week. I went and figured out how to buy everything this week still. And by next week, I'm like practicing and figuring it out. And in 2 weeks, I'm fucking on to the next thing.
That's awesome.
So that's just the way it ends up.
Well, we're glad you stayed in off-road long enough to give the attention span to that.
I think that's why, like, I can't. I don't want to say I can't, but I don't enjoy, like, going and practicing or testing or anything. Yeah, could I be better? Is there things to gain from it? Probably. But I don't want to do it then. By the time race time comes, if I went and tested and drove, like my dad, he's the opposite. Until, like, the last probably 2-3 years, he could go up north. He could literally race all weekend. And then on Monday, go up north and go run 100 miles on the UTV trails and just like enjoy every minute of it. Me, I don't want to drive nothing. I want to go, I don't know, do something that's not to do with off-road racing or dirt or maybe play with toy cars or I don't know, go do something different.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, especially I know for you, you're what, sometimes 6-7 races in? 6 usually?
Yeah, on a weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of 6 most times. And then 6 more if you count practice and qualifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On average, I do almost 100 laps a weekend.
That's crazy. There's no way I could do that. Like, just the ability to get in and out of a car and then even one race off and then get back, especially when it's 90 some degrees.
Well,
This year was rough.
When you were doing Pro 2 and Pro 4, because you did that for like 1 or 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah.
I think 2 years.
That had
Where
to
it's
be
back to back.
Like, I know they were like holding the line for you.
Well, it was probably like 3 years ago. Even with UTVs were back to back.
Oh, yeah, Pro
I
Stock.
used to run back to back.
Yeah.
And then there was times that I ran 3 classes back to back to back. And I'd only run a helmet pumper in my Pro 4 at the very end.
You're crazy.
The rest of them, I don't run it. I don't know why. I'm stubborn and I don't want to put it in and I don't want to wire it up and I don't know.
I'd have a helmet pumper. I'd have a cool shirt. I'd have everything.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah. You're younger.
Not anymore. I'm 30 now, bro.
Yeah. We're
In age, but not at my heart.
There you go. Who is the highest skilled competitor you raced against? In your mind, not like stat wise, just your mind.
In my mind, I don't know. That's tough. It's a tough question because there was a lot. It's hard to say statistically versus like not statistically, right? Like there was a lot of guys that like Bryce Menzies was always really good, but he was either like on or he was off. You go to like statistically good guys, Rob Mack. Rob Mack was always just good. No matter what, he was always there. No matter what class he was in, he was always there. I raced against him in Pro 2 a couple years when it was Traxxas and in Pro 4 a couple years. So I would say he's got to be on the top. He's like basically on the top of my list of everything.
Sweet. I can deal with that.
Makes sense. That's a good competitor for sure.
And the one thing that and I'm gonna jump ahead on some of your questions because I know it's gonna come.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm probably underselling it is Walker Evans. A lot of people, like I listen to your guys' stuff, has Walker and stuff. I've never even seen him race. He was not racing long before my time, right? So there's so many people that have had him on their list, and I never even knew he'd fucking race short course. So, let alone was any good at it. If someone asked me what class he raced or if he won any races, I'd say no idea.
Yeah. When we were kind of like breaking down the timelines, it was hard to make a judgment on like who raced who. Like you kind of had to like try to stack apples against apples. And he was like kind of in the early eras, and he was pretty winning back in the early eras, not 10 championships, but
who did you race against?
yeah, there's also that, but also
But I'm legitly asking, like who else raced then that I would know? Anybody?
well, even those races, like I didn't witness any of them, just like you didn't witness any of them. You're 30, but we're 35. But when I look back on stats and history, I guess
So
personally I put him on my third
He's
list.
probably Flannery's?
Yeah,
was he Flannery's?
Yeah. And then
Was that like the Horzog something days?
Wars, WRSOWR.
Warzog, the team?
Yeah,
Is that like the days of them guys?
I believe so. This is a Mikey Van Den Heuvel question.
See, and he's the one that had it like right away up on his list, and I'm like, man, I don't.
I've also been brainwashed by Mikey Van Den Heuvel a few times. Not brainwashed. He feeds me a lot of the older
stats.
technical stuff because
that's where it was-
Is he much older than us?
Yeah, it's not a lot older than me, but a little bit older than you,
Well, that's where it gets
Dan or Mikey?
Mikey. Mikey's turning 40.
That's where it gets tough though too, is because like in my time frame, it's tough because I remember Ricky Johnson,
Yeah.
Johnny, and then like you've dominated for how long of that, 10 years of it. So it's like,
Been 15, 16 years of it. I've been racing.
yeah.
If I took my ranking on just the stuff that I've started watching and witnessing, then it's basically been your career time wise.
Right.
That's when I started actually paying attention and
Like that's where I always said like a lot of people miss out on Rob Mack and Carl Renzener.
Yeah.
Like even Carl, he was a desert guy and a short course guy and won a lot of short course races back in the core days. All that he was like the guy for a long time. Half the people are like, no idea who he is. If you went and showed like the race truck that sits at Crandon, his old Pro 4.
Yep.
Most people
with the drag slicks on the back.
Yep. Most people have no idea who drove it, if he was any good, nothing. Yeah. They just think it's a Lucas Oil truck sitting there on display.
So let's, like you said, we'll jump forward a little bit here. All right.
Did we skip some?
Oh, we skipped a couple.
Well, we might as well just go in order.
No,
just keep going.
We're on the top. We're on the top.
Okay,
top driver subject. So,
all right.
Are you ready to give us? I gave you a warning. So
I know.
Top 5 Pro 4.
Top 5 Pro 4.
Greatest of all time. So
I'm not gonna put them in any order. I'm gonna be that guy, and I'm not gonna put them in any order. I'm just gonna put them out there because obviously, it just wouldn't work. But I think you're gonna have Rob Mack, Carl Rennesener, obviously my dad. I don't even know who, 5 Pro 4. Kyle Duke for sure. He's in there.
One more.
And I would obviously like to put myself in there, but I'm not gonna do that just because it's just weird. I don't know. That's why I'm not putting it in any order. I would have to put Bryce in there. Bryce Menzies.
Yeah.
Bryce was, and that goes back to, I don't know that many. I can't tell you 5 people that have won a Pro 4 championship.
Yeah.
Well, probably the 5 I listed are probably the only 5 I know that have won a Pro 4. I guess RJ won one at some point. We were trying to figure out after Glenn Hallen, obviously at 10 championships, if there's anybody current that could even get 10 if you tried before I retired. And I don't think it's possible.
So
No, I don't think it is possible.
Because the only people left is my dad and RJ and myself are the only ones with championships. And RJ only has 1, and he don't race full time.
Yeah.
And my dad's at 7 or 8, one of the two, and he's not going to race for that many more years either, right? So it realistically is going to be at least if Jimmy started winning from now, and Jimmy's in his 40s, you think he's going to race for 10 more years? I don't think so.
No.
Right? So
you'd have to win every single year, too.
You'd have to win the next 10 years straight to tie it. He can be almost 60.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about it out loud, trying to think like who's even left of champions and current racers that
and then
statistically could even try.
Next question is like who's the next generation of racers that even has a shot? But
maybe Mickey.
Yeah.
Right? He's gonna race. He just got into the class.
I don't know.
The talk is Ricky G is gonna get a Pro 4, Ryan Beat, but you even think about those guys, those are all guys that have been in the sport for almost 10 plus years already.
Yeah.
Right? So that means that they're going to do 20 years in the sport. I don't know many people that have done 20 years in the sport. And that's if they started winning the championship next year for the next 10, just to tie it.
And just thinking of Mickey, because we interviewed him, like he took a Pro 2 championship and then said, all right, next thing. So I don't even know if Pro 4 hits. And then he goes, all right, I'm going to go find the next next thing that sparks my sparkler.
Right. So that's what's hardest for me is I've been in Pro 4 for 11 years already. So I've raced against the same dude. So for me to go back to even think like, oh, who's your top 5? I mean, I've been in it for the last 11 years and I've raced against the same people. I don't even know who really consecutively like raced before that. Yeah. So my options are a lot slimmer being that I got into it so young. I mean, when I got into short course, if you asked me who raced Pro 4 back then, I would have no idea at all. I wouldn't even be able to tell you.
Yeah.
So
I was
probably
13 years old.
Yeah. Scott Douglas.
Yeah.
Johnny, obviously. I'm trying to think even further back other than that. Ricky
Johnson. Yeah, I would say
but other
Ricky
than that,
should have been in there. Ricky would probably replace Bryce. So Bryce was really good for like a 2 or 3 year stint.
So what you're saying is Bryce is number 5.
Bryce is number 5.
Okay.
Bryce is number 5. Yes, for sure.
Now we're working out this order here.
Yeah, but
I know you said you were working out this order.
It's probably all. I would say. I mean, we can work it out. Probably. I would say, other than where I put my dad. I mean, obviously, in my heart, my mind, I would say he's going to be number 1. But statistically, yeah, he's still right up there with Kyle as well. But I look at it like of the greats of the sport as well. It would be like my dad, Rob Mack. and Carl Remesenter. Because to me, they were the guys when money was big and they were winning big money and short course was thriving and live on like CBS, and we had like hot interviewers like the Supercross ladies.
Yeah.
Is it Kelly Stravis and Aaron something, the really tall one that did Supercross forever? They were at our races like live on CBS.
Yeah.
Those were the days of like short course was in its prime. Those are the people I look at as like, those are the gods,
Yeah.
right? Those are the guys that made the class what it is, that made the sport what it is. We're just kind of following along and trickling along, keeping the sport alive.
Yeah.
Those were the days that truly built it. And really those three were the gods of the class. And I would say probably Rick Huseman in there somewhere too, which is hard because Rick was really good and really fast, but obviously his time in the sport was a lot shorter lived than a lot of people. So it all depends on who's putting the order and how you're doing the order. Are you doing it because of your favorite people? Are you doing it statistically? Are you doing it because of the impact they had on the sport? Rick was really fast, won a lot of races, won a bunch of championships, but was only really in the class for like 4 or 5 years, right? And he won like 2 or 3 of the years. So statistically, if you looked at him, he's probably not that far up on the list. But as someone that had an impact on the sport, yeah, I mean, him and his family built Bryce's truck after Rick passed away, his last truck, and they had a big impact on the development of the class.
Yeah.
But the true gods of the sport to me were anybody that raced core back when it was in its prime and it was live on CBS and it was going around the country and it was a big deal. They raced for big money.
Yeah, and I think we talk about it often. Like, the goal hopefully is to get the sport back to that, right? Like where it's big money, live. Like, I think there's a path to it. It's just can it
Not
ever
on
get
flow.
there? No,
No.
not on flow. 100% not on flow.
I think everybody at this table can agree on that.
This is my only gripe about flow. We'll just get it out of the way right away. Do you know anybody that doesn't follow racing that knows what Flow TV app is?
Yeah. I
No.
We're not gaining spectators and followers on Flow. The only reason you bought Flow is for a purpose to watch something that you already knew about, right? And
Yeah.
the only reason you're going to buy it is if you're a racer that's into more than one industry. I know a lot of people that race that love watching short course and won't buy Flow. I know a lot of people that buy Flow because they watch dirt late models or sprint cars and they like short course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my big gripe about it. The production of it and it being on an app, other than you can't fucking find it once it's going.
I always have to search.
Dude, I can't even search and find like
Yeah.
the last race.
It's- it is really
the
bad.
name exactly the way it was, and it's never Champ Off Road this weekend. It's like Battle in the UP,
Yeah.
and if you don't put in
Yes.
Battle in the UP, you ain't finding that race. I don't
Yeah.
care how many times you search Champ.
Or sometimes it's like something like Crandon and then the date, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, or Polaris World Cup,
Yeah.
right? So if you didn't know it was that, and you search Crandon, you're gonna find a race from 2015.
Yeah.
So,
I will have a
that's-
small defense on them. If you go on the actual like web desktop, it's
Better?
much easier.
Okay, I've never been on it, so I,
But who the heck goes to their computer and is like,
yeah,
let me fire up the old desktop?
yeah,
Unless
yeah.
you're 60.
All right,
Yeah.
and even then you're hitting it with the dial-up
Yeah.
The dial.
on the way up there trying to find it.
Yeah, it's
That's
tough.
my gripe about Flow. Is we're just not gaining anything from it.
Well, and we went to the Mint this year, and it's like you see the Mint. It's on, what was it, YouTube?
It was on YouTube. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
the famous line that I said is, why does the series that has no paywall have 4 helicopters in the sky?
True, because they don't have any pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. So cycling back,
Okay,
we've already covered a bunch of this stuff, but just
we'll just keep going.
we'll skim it through. Okay.
We'll skim it.
So going back, bringing it back to Wheatland, did it feel this season, the beginning of the season, feel any different than maybe a different season with having some new players in the game?
I mean, my answers aren't like these politically correct answers that everyone hopes for.
It's all right. We're on YouTube. It's okay.
My goal at Wheatland was not to break. That was it.
Okay.
That was it. So I didn't have any hopes. Like, if you go back and look at my last 2 years, I broke the first round. Well, not at Anago, but the year before at Lena, I broke both races. I was leading at the half both days and broke both days.
That was like a power steering.
And we were having power steering problems, yep. And so going into it this year, if I finished on the podium both days, I was pumped.
Okay.
So that was the goal. I really didn't have any expectations or wants. Like, what was I going to take a win if it was there? Yeah, I did on Sunday when everybody else died. I almost ran over a four-wheeler guy. Nobody knows that. But when I caught that big hole before the bridge jump,
Okay.
I caught a big hole, and I actually went over the K-rail and back down, and there was a dude sitting behind it on his four-wheeler, on his phone, and never even saw me come over. And when he looked up, he had to about shit his pants. I couldn't have missed him by 10 feet.
That's
Like, if he would have been 10 feet over, I would have squished him.
That's crazy.
And I turned around and came back and then jumped back on the track. And Devin didn't even know where I went or like anything. He was just like, I was gone. And then he's just like, oh, hey, you're back. I was like, sorry about that. But that was it. That was my only goal in Wheatland was to finish both days. If I finished both days on the podium and or like in the top 5, I was already ahead than I was the year before. So.
Perfect.
That was a bonus. I finished on the podium. A lot of people asked me, "Oh, you were so far off at Wheatland." And I was like, for one, it's probably one of the only teams that didn't go there and test.
Yeah.
And two, I got a third and a first. Like, I think that's a decent start to the year,
Yeah, I would take it.
right? It wasn't like, yeah, did I have the pace? No, but I'm also not the person that, like, it's hard. Like Cole and RJ. Cole wasn't planning on running all year, right? He was supposed to do a limited season, and then as he stayed in the points, he kept finding sponsors and kept racing until
The hope was there.
the hope was there, and he made it happen. And then as it slowly whittled away, then it started to become less important, and Crandon and whatever became more important. RJ, he does 3 races a year, so it's easy to go to the first race and just go for broke, right?
Yeah.
That's what you do every race. When you only race a partial season, you go for broke because
You got time.
you got
fix it?
time, and you only have 3 races. Your sponsors
I think
expect
it was supposed to be 4, but
who?
he wasn't supposed to be at ERX.
RJ?
Yeah.
So I'm only ever going to do 3. And when they did Wheatland, he dropped ERX with his truck.
Oh, okay.
That's why they tested at Crandon, and then he only does 3.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
and maybe he'll do more in the future. I don't know. But as far as I've ever talked to him, his plan was 3, and it just mattered what 3. Obviously, Polaris is from Minnesota, so that's why they still went and ran Ronnie's UTV, is for the UTV side. But I think his budget stays the same for his truck, and he just picks whatever races he wants to do.
I think that's like the biggest thing. I know it's in here somewhere, but just like, how can we continue to grow the Pro 4 class? Like,
I mean,
Grow it. How about we just keep it so that all of them finish?
that too.
the number one thing, don't race every 9 days.
Yeah.
Until we
When
can fix the schedule.
You're talking 9 days, like from load in to load out.
Right.
Yeah.
When you leave and you have to be there on Thursday, a week and a half away.
Yeah.
So you have really, if you call Monday, you leave on Sunday, you get home either, half the teams get home Monday morning, so you really can't count Monday. You have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, if you don't want to, if you
Work
give
all
up
year.
your weekend, right? But that's majority of the summer. Like, the reason people are stopped coming or they're quitting or they're not doing it anymore, or they're doing a limited schedule, is they're sick of it. You get burnt out. Like, I don't want to work every weekend. Like a lot of jobs, yeah, racing runs on the weekends, right? So that's one thing that we have different. We run seasonal. We can only run during the summer, so you got to cram it all in. But at the same token, there's only 4 shops, 5, maybe 4, that can fix anything and or get any parts. Like, if you have to order anything from California and you don't have it and it's a one-off part, just right off the next race, because you ain't getting it. It takes 4 days just to get it if they have it in stock. So when you race every 9 days, yeah, that's what's going to happen. People aren't going to come.
What main parts are coming still from a California base?
All
company?
driveline.
Driveline. Okay.
All driveline and or, I mean, honestly, a good bit of parts. Other, like Aaron's, they made an impact, right? Which is Liebert machine.
Yeah.
They made an impact on short course, at least getting us hubs, that rotor hats, that kind of stuff. But at the same token, I mean, you think brakes, you think axles, you think, I mean, rear end housings. KGB just started doing rear end housings. He's the only guy locally around here that makes like a true short course built chromoly hardened rear end housing. And your 3D printed one, yeah.
I drew it up.
So you need that. You need a lot of companies still have all their laser work done out there and have like their A-arms made out there and uprights made. Like I said, you got KGB. He'll do spindles. Ryan Beat, I don't think does any outside work anymore. I think he only works on his own stuff in rental cars, and I don't think he don't build spindles and A-arms and shit for people.
Maybe off season, but I wouldn't count on it in the on season.
Yeah, for surely not. But even because in the on season he stays in Green Bay.
Yeah.
He stays in Swamico at Shimmick's, so they don't have a fab shop there.
Yeah.
So there isn't enough people. I don't know any fab shops other than us, KGB. I'm sure Mikey and Cole Mamer maybe would do some work if somebody came to him during the season, which this year he was most likely fixing his own stuff and or a customer vehicle. So it's hard. We just don't have enough time or people to turn stuff around. So, and then any driveline parts, as far as axles, CVs, brakes, a lot of that stuff, transmission stuff, all comes out of California. I think we're only down to, I don't even know who, we have ATD left in the auto trans world. I think a lot of guys or some still use Rancho, which is also out of California. Yeah. We used to have J&H, which was out of Michigan. That's what I ran the later part of my automatic career. But other than that, I don't even know where else you go as far as that goes. That's not California, right? So you look at anything shipping-wise, it's unless you're going to overnight it and pay $1,000 to get that part there. Howell, Pro-Am, which I think Pro-Am's gone, but Howell, TubeWorks, Wiseman, Fortin, you name any of these companies, they're all out of California.
That's a good point. I didn't think of that. That's crazy.
Well, and outside of like all of us that are racing, say you crash something, who's going to fix it?
Yeah.
Nobody. Mikey, maybe. Which now he's got Rosales' deal. So he probably ain't going to take on a whole bunch of work.
Yeah, I've always said, like, if you're going to get into racing, you better be at least like a basic fab guy. Like you can repair a tube or something.
Yeah, to some extent, right?
Yeah.
To some extent. So that's what's keeping people out of the sport.
I can see that.
And honestly, that's what's going to keep pushing people out of the sport. Ask Corey Winter why he don't want to race. Because it's every 9 days. His dad says, I ain't freaking doing that. When do I have time to have a life? You don't. And everyone's like, well, you have all winter off. Yeah, it's fucking frozen in snow. Like, I like to enjoy my summer too. Like, at some point, right? If it was a minimum of 2 weeks, like some of the races are, maybe a third of them, between everyone, I think your all around attendance would go up. Because you think even sportsmen, right? What would you say? 60% of their crews volunteer? 70% of their crews volunteer?
Least 90.
90% of their 90% of their crews volunteer, and 100% of them have a day job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
98% of them have a day job. Bo Ambos is retired.
Yeah,
And-
that's true. And
Right?
like for them to go out to the races and turn around the vehicles, like that's a lot of
even
their
to get
time.
crew guys to come back, right? And now, I'm not even gonna say their name. The series we run for, you have to buy a membership for every crew guy that touches a vehicle. If you want them to go in the hot pit, whatever. So you're trying to get the same people. So to ask the same people to come back every 9 days, basically, unless they're gonna drive themselves there, if they want to leave with the rig, they're leaving every 9 days to go race. And if you had 2 weeks off in between, it gives you a week to gather up your shit, another week to have like a full week of work in, and then you got another partial week. It makes it easier for your average Joe to be Jones in the race again, and or easier to take off work again to get there for all those days.
Yeah.
So I think that's our biggest hiccup in the industry, in the sport. I understand we do it in a short amount of time. We don't have all summer and all winter and whatever, but I don't know, it's October and we could still race right now.
Yeah, this might be a little bit of a rarity, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I
But
mean,
that's what's hurting us.
even
That's why
for-
people aren't coming back. They're
Even
burnt
for me
out.
to go to the races, like it eats up almost all my vacation time.
Yep. I have a couple volunteers that help me that I am more than grateful for and could never ask more out of them that use all their vacation to come to the race weekends.
Yeah.
That's
So-
hard to ask people to do summer after summer after summer after summer.
Yeah, because then, like, once summer's over, if they want to do something with their family, friends, whatever, well, they just ate up all their time during the summer.
So this is probably a two-part question. But I think it's
Are you going to get me in trouble?
That means yes if he pauses.
so
I'm about
utilize
getting canceled at the last one, so it's all right.
only thinking of kind of the pro schedule.
Okay.
Utilizing out west. What would your like? You don't have to say. Well, maybe you have to say tracks if you want to, but like,
What's my dream schedule?
what's your dream schedule? Like month, like okay, say like May 1st of May or the first weekend of May, or and then another one third week of July.
So I don't necessarily think that a lot of us care when we start or when we finish, as long as you tell us, like the
Far.
year before,
Like yesterday.
like yesterday, like this whole when Glen Helen came out, you basically just rammed it all up our ass. Because if you thought any one of us was going to be able to get a sponsor in March, yeah, no. I'm here to tell you, if you worked with any corporate business ever, their
Yeah.
budgets are done in October.
Yeah, it was going to have to be some external pedaling on that one. Like,
Yeah, right. So, like Supercross, like any successful race series, the schedule needs to come out at the last race. At very worst case scenario, the last race. Right? We're already behind the ball. Right now, I can't go get a sponsor. I can go sell them something,
Yeah.
but I don't know what to sell them for. I don't even know how many times I'm racing next year.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm racing, how many times I'm racing, what my budget needs to look like. Because
You can make a wild guess, but then like something gets
What
thrown
if
on the
it's right?
schedule.
What if it's wrong?
Something gets thrown on the schedule. Now you're behind.
so Supercross, they're not scared to post a schedule and put to be determined dates of when they think it's going to be, right? Or where they think it's going to be. That's something that I think our series needs to look into. Like, put out the ones you know are guaranteed, and you don't have to make it public, right? Put the drivers that are on the drivers list, send them an email and say, hey, this is the schedule we're planning for. This is our goal. This is the hope. If everything goes through, we're going to race here, here, and here. And these are the weekends and or rounds, right? We're going to do. We're shooting for 9 rounds this year. And 2 of them, whatever it wants to be, right? 2 of them are in the West Coast. Now I can still go sell something, right?
Yeah.
And you can sell it on the terms of, if it doesn't work, when I go to a sponsor, I can say, hey, we're trying to run 9 weekends. 2 of them are on the West Coast and or general area. They're to be determined yet on dates, and if it's official, let's work out a deal that's for this. And then if those for some reason don't go through, let's work out a secondary plan. It can be in the contract, right?
Yeah.
Every business isn't going to be mad if they don't have to pay you all of it,
Yeah.
right? So it's a lot easier to go there and sell them on 9 rounds or come up with a budget for 9 rounds and say, if it's 7, this is going to be the agreement. If the series can't follow through or something happens where something drops out, it's easy enough to put that in the schedule saying, this is what the payment's going to change to, and it can be in the contract right from the get-go. But it gives me something to sell, right? I need to be looking at sponsors right now. I don't know why, and if they already did. I haven't personally seen anything. Maybe some other racers have. We need a spreadsheet of how many events there were, how many tickets were sold, how many viewers we had on fucking Instagram, Facebook, da-da-da-da-da. How many viewers fucking flow claims they had on short course for the year, and how many rounds we had.
Yeah.
That's what I sell to people, right?
Yeah.
Well, I have nothing
Yeah.
right now. So I'm selling hopes and dreams.
And I
Right?
I know you.
Well, not only that, like you saw what happened when Glen Helen was added. Like so many racers had to scramble and or just accept the fact that, well,
It costs money.
Yeah, it's going to cost money. Can't go find a sponsor now. Or you saw a lot of people get out there creatively, join forces, take multiple things out there, but
I
still.
think there was only 5 semis there.
Yeah, it took a big effort to get out there for a lot of teams.
Which is okay, but
I was part of that.
yeah, I mean, we all
would
took
have beat
the
you
rest.
there if we could have gone faster.
I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda. I didn't even get to see you guys. You guys must have been at the gas station when we passed you.
When you passed us, we were having breakfast. If we would have been linked up like an hour earlier, you would have had Denny's with us, I'm sure.
I was fully prepared. We already had a game plan in the truck that I was pulling my pants down and hanging my ass out the window on the way by, and then we never saw you guys.
That's terrible.
funny.
I was having time lapse going too.
I mean, it would have been a great, then you were
That's
like,
funny.
oh, you're past us already. I'm like, what? We were all bummed.
Yeah.
That was the excitement of the
No,
day.
I had the GoPro going. I was like,
Excitement of the
ready.
day.
Because
Excitement of the day.
we had burn lowers pass us, and
But you had to stop to eat.
Had to go to Denny's. I bet you.
Did you
get a
about
grand
3
slam?
hours after that, you had to shit.
wasn't that long. But
Did you get Grand Slam at least?
it was I had an omelet because we were talking about.
Okay, no
We
Grand
wanted to
Slam.
stop in Denver to get a Denver omelet.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I was just going to say
Why
that.
are they better? I thought Denny's is Denny's.
No, I was gonna stop. We were trying to stop at like a more like conventional mom and pop truck stop type.
With a semi.
Yeah.
Well,
All right.
We drive that thing like a fucking pickup truck and a trailer.
like a soccer mom in her minivan.
Yeah.
Get out the way.
Okay, so going back to the question of
Oh shit.
dream schedule, when would you start out west, or
I
would
don't
you
know.
start out west?
Yes, but
February.
I don't think there's a great. Well, here's the other problem.
When's the mint run? Mint runs March.
Take out all other series. There's not enough people to fix and build new cars to keep the sport going. So we need an off season,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So that goes back to the whole amount of people in our industry. Anyone who wants a new truck takes 4 months, 5 months to truly, unless you have a full two people 24/7.
I was gonna say, I think I've seen your guys' updates. It's like a week, and you guys got
Well, yeah, yes, yes, and UTVs we're getting better and better every week and every day. But a Pro 4, we can do a chassis with no tabs, nothing mounted, no aluminum, no body mounts, no nothing other than the tubes in 2 weeks.
yeah.
Said and done. But the next thing is availability. Since COVID, nobody stocks anything anymore. That's just the way it goes. I don't know why. I
That's
don't know if that's
even the automotive industry.
yeah, I mean, they all got away with it, right? They got away with having way less overhead and everyone being okay with ordering it. So that's what they now everyone went, well, I'm not going to stock it. I didn't have to stock it for a year and a half or 2 years. Why would I stock it now?
Yeah.
So that's the same. Like the whole rule that has to be available to the public, in order for you to run it. I'm here to tell you, there ain't a single, I shouldn't say a single, 85% of the race car parts in the world, you call and say, hey, I want that shipped out tomorrow, they'll laugh at you.
I was going to say not possible.
Not possible. Because they're like, oh, that's all made to order stuff these days. In today's day and age, it's made to order. So all things considered, right, it would be really tough to make. I understand the position that Champ's in, but give us what you have. Give us what you know. Give us what your goal is.
Yeah.
Give us the stats from this year so we can go sell something with an expectation of how many races we're going to do. So like a perfect scenario, I don't know what it is. Starting way earlier isn't going to help anybody. I think it's just that many less people that are going to be ready to go. But I also don't know what the right answer is. Nothing more than 9 weekends out of the year, I think, is good for the sport.
Yeah.
I know he's going to want to do more because every race he does, he makes money, right? So more races, I don't have, that was an accident.
Okay.
The more races he does, the more money he makes. So it makes sense that he wants to add races. But for our industry and the amount of racers we have and the money that's going through it and the racers we have, you have to take a step back and say, all right, who are our racers? Our racers are sorry to say it, but a bunch of hillbillies. We're all a bunch of hillbillies, right? That like fucking horsepower, welding metal together, and going and wrecking shit.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, like there's no $50,000 to win, $100,000 to win like circle track.
Well, we don't have 20,000 tracks and 100,000 people, right? And 100 manufacturers. You go to dirt track, every series, call it IMCA, IOTA, or SOTA,
Whatever else it is.
Yeah.
yeah, whatever else their goofy names are.
It's
There's
changed a couple times, yeah.
yeah, but even in the dirt track world that like compete against IMCA alone probably has 50 builders, right?
Yeah.
You need to wreck one tomorrow. You can send your car there. They'll put it on the frame rack with all the jig mounts, everything. They're all wire welded together. They can build them in a week. There's a new one, and they're $2,500 or $3,000.
I think like rear clips and front clips are bolt-ons too, aren't they?
Depending on the build.
Yeah.
Most are, but now they used to have like spec frame rails, right?
Yeah, okay.
And then they had to find them old Monte Carlos and all that different shit. Well, now they reproduced all of it. They have stamped, reproduced all of it. They can make brand new out of good material, anything they want. They can have it tomorrow. The cost of like a roller for like a stock car or a sport mod is like, I shouldn't say roller, a bare chassis, and then you bolt you take that chassis, throw it in the garbage, and you bolt all your parts back on. It's like under $5,000.
Yeah.
We don't have that. We don't have the tracks. We don't have the people. We don't have the money in the industry. We also don't run like 141 has like 5 or 6 races a year that are $10,000 to win.
Yeah.
You could win all year and not make $10,000 in our sport.
I was gonna say
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you take like Benji Lacrosse probably 2-3 years ago, he won close to $100,000.
Yeah, right. So that's the really hard part in our sport is we're just not that big, and we're trying to grow, right? But we have to grow within reason. We have to grow at an appropriate rate.
yeah.
Otherwise, we're just gonna go like this, and then we're all gonna splat on.
Like almost
shit.
what every series has been like in recent years.
Yeah, and I think a big part of it, and yeah, I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of flack over everything I say. I get a bunch of flack over, so it's fucking old news to me. But is you can't keep. So Glen Helen popped off, right? We'll start there. Good job, champ. It worked. You took the risk. We gained the follower, or we gained the spectators. 90% of the spectators there cheered for anybody.
We got a story to tell you.
And to follow that up, 98% of the spectators left when the checkered flag was done, the last race. When Pro 4 went on the podium, especially Friday, there wasn't 10 people standing in the bleachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't care who you were,
But-
what you did. They didn't care.
But Pro 2, Pro Spec, all those you had to fight in order to get to.
To sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To sit down, and they didn't know anybody, and they cheered for any pass, right?
Yes.
Okay, so...
And it was all in Spanish.
Yes.
That was exciting.
Yes. So, okay, it popped off. Good job, champ. We took the risk with you. Now, if you think we're doing it again for free, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Right?
No, yeah. I
Right?
completely
Yeah.
agree.
We
I
took
agree.
the risk with you. You think we're doing it again for free? I know 10 people offhand that will not go back next year unless there's a person. They did it once because they wanted to say they did it, right? And they drove that 36 hours or 38 hours or 40 hours. They ain't doing it again.
Yeah, but
And they ain't going back.
also,
They don't care.
so leeching onto that, so if the track kicks in a purse, then we're going to assume that the track's probably going to be paying the series, just like every other track pays. Because Glen Helen, they paid Glen Helen.
They paid Glen Helen $40,000 is what I heard.
So I'm assuming if it popped off like it did, Glen Helen's going to go, no. We'll buy to get it in your series.
Yeah, but $75 to get in.
And then we want the admission, and we want the food trucks. We want the, what else?
I don't
is
think
there?
they're going to do it. Glen Helen doesn't do that with anybody. Glen Helen does not hold events anymore.
Okay.
They are a strictly rent-out venue. That's what I'm told. I've never talked to them myself, but I heard that they are strictly rent-out only. They hold ride days, but they do not do races. They only do, you rent the property, you hold the race, you get the money.
And when
not
I
their problem.
When I was there in spring, I talked to the manager, And I was like, hey, what's the details? What can you tell me? And they're like, I don't know. They're paying us, and I think they're borrowing a water truck, and the rest was their problem.
Yep.
And I was like,
That's the way Glen Helen works.
So,
And I was like,
if you're
oh, okay.
any other racetrack in the series, though, like, why don't you just become rent to own it or rent to run at this point? Like, granted,
Because you only make $40,000. Maybe they make more
true.
than that.
That's true. That's valid.
I mean, obviously, Crandon
I gotta
is a
think.
given.
I gotta think.
They're making-
I gotta think.
You
All
gotta
the
think-
tracks make more than $40,000 on beer sales.
Maybe. I mean, that's a lot of beer. I mean, most people bring their own beer.
Have you seen
BYOB,
Crandon?
brother.
Yeah, I guess. Can't do that at Grandin. Security guards are.
Yeah, but in your pit, you can.
Oh, yeah, in the pit, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you just get drunk before you go to the bleachers.
You want to tell them the spectator at Glen Helen story?
Friday, Pro 4 comes up. Person in front of us turns to his buddy. Bet you $100 CJ wins.
Solid.
Halfway
That's a
through,
terrible bet.
halfway through the race, he turns around and he goes, "What the heck is wrong with that guy?" I was like, "Well, he's running for a points championship, not the race."
Probably never even watched anything other than stats, maybe.
And then afterwards, after I tell him that, he turns to his buddy and he goes, "Tomorrow, double down."
Oh, that wasn't any better idea. Yeah.
I was like,
Poor
"This
guy.
is awesome."
Poor guy.
I mean, there is a gas station between Glen Helen and Cartech that
Has me on it?
has the poster window deal. So maybe he was like that.
My neighbor, the gas station right next door to our race shop, has a 3-window CJ Greaves sticker on it for some reason. They're all over Green Bay, but
Yeah,
it
I've
just
seen
so
a
happens
few.
that's like the
They're all
biggest
over-
one I've ever seen,
They're
and
all
it's
over
rated.
the world.
Yeah, they are all over. Mainly, like I think they set them out like regionally. A lot of the times on the West Coast, you'll see Casey Curry
Oh, okay.
on a bunch of them and whatever. But
That's
that's
awesome.
my hot take.
So
That's the hot take.
Anago, you extend your win streak. Did I skip one?
No, you're fine.
I don't know.
Okay. You're fine. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just here.
And you are unstoppable basically at Anago. What makes that such a perfect track for you?
I don't know. Just show up.
Just show up.
I don't know. I mean, it's early in the season, and apparently nobody else has their shit figured out. I don't know. It just
It works out.
It wasn't really a thing until it became a thing, right? Like I never even thought it. Like, is it 3 years or 4 years? I don't even know.
I think you're four in a row. I'm pretty sure.
4 years straight. It's since we've went back,
Yeah.
right? Otherwise, I've only ran it in a super buggy, and that's where I actually claimed my first championship in a super buggy. It was at Anago. Wait,
Not a pro buggy.
no,
Super
buggy.
super buggy.
back.
It was either Anago or Oshkosh. I don't know. I don't have this. I'm not a stats guy. We'd have to ask Nolan. Nolan would know.
Nolan would know.
Nolan would know.
I've never been to Oshkosh.
It's
so
like Anago,
it's like Anago.
just with the name Oshkosh.
Okay.
Almost the same.
And it sits vacant now.
Yeah, they don't do nothing with it. But I don't know. I like Anago. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's where I ended my first Super Buggy Championship, which maybe that's what carries it. It was never really a thing to me. Honestly, even the hype, that was an accident again, I swear. Even the hype on it, like last year, I would say was a little bit, right? Because it was like 3 years. Oh, can you do it 3 years? And then everyone made a huge deal out of it this year.
Yeah.
I know it's going to end. All good things come to an end, right? It isn't like I went there like, I have to win. I'm going to drive outside of my comfort zone to keep this thing going. No, that's not the way I was. Like I said, I go to every race and I drive my best. I do my best that day. If I'll let it hang out and push it if I need to, but I ain't going to drive like to the point of like crashing and wrecking my season over some stats or for some people saying, can you keep it going?
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is. It just clicks. It's a track that you have to be smart. It is, to me, one of the more technical tracks. We had a big part. Kyle Duke obviously had a huge part in it, and then fine-tuning it. And as they more or less ran out of dirt, we'll call it, as far as the way it was drawn up on that poster to the way it ended up. I don't think they realized how much dirt it was really going to take to build what they originally designed. But it's another track that we had a lot of say in that has like fingers and obstacles, and you have a finger coming off the oval, you have a finger in the infield that gives you multiple options. It has a lot of different line choices. You can move around. It gets rough. It gets nasty. You get the infield from loose, loamy dirt to the oval, which can be, who knows? You never really know, depending on the day.
The
and
oval corner, the big corner, what you'd call it.
1 and 2 that we run backwards.
Yeah. Is nuts. Like how, like you can run that so fast, but like how it develops in the holes that develop there. Well, Cole found out.
Yeah, Cole found out. And I always enjoy that because, like, so in UTVs, you fight for 3 inches off the bottom. And it wasn't as important this year as it was last year. 2024, we had a line that was 1 tire width wide going through the oval on the UTV side, right? And if you missed it, it was 3/10. If you overdrove it, came in and your right front didn't stick on it, it was 3/10. A lot.
Jeez.
Wow. That's a difference maker.
That's a difference, right? And I learned that from the stock car guys when they're touching the tires down on the bottom because there's 1 tire width of moisture left that wasn't getting used. That's how it was. This year, I think I was probably one of the only Pro 4s that ran the top. I just went around all the ruts, and I just stayed up there, and it was decent. I wish one year we'd get a blue groove oval that's just smooth, right? We haven't got we race there so early. The frost is coming out. It's soft. Not enough people run on it. They don't race on it majority of the year. We have yet to get that burnt, slick oval like everyone thinks it's going to be, like a dirt oval is, right? So I think that would be cool one year if it's slicked off like that, because then you could actually like throw slide jobs and move around the oval a lot, and you'd see a lot of people running the bottom and a lot of people running way out by the wall. But unfortunately, we have not had that yet.
Yeah.
But anyways,
It would take a lot to blue groove it out at that time of the year.
or just if it was just hard, right? It's so hit or miss, like soft spots, and it gets big holes, and then it just develops goofy and makes it not necessarily one line, because it's definitely like a 2-3 dimensional turn, but it's scary. It's risk over reward, 100%. That's what that turn is. If you're low risk, consistent, you run the bottom. If you're high risk, you co-mamer it, and you just send it in there, and you hope for the best, right? And keep the tires spinning, and you run good. If you're like that in-between guy that I kind of am, if I'm not on the bottom, typically I'm on the bottom most places, you drive it up to the top, you go around the ruts, you're up where the track's not really ran in. You can't run it really hard, but it's smooth, there's no holes, and you get a really good drive off, and it's about a wash, right? It's not really any better than the bottom, but it's less risky than the middle, and it's more consistent than anything else. So to me, it's a 3-dimensional turn that can develop good racing.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it works well for me just because it's diverse.
Yeah. I didn't know if it was just short course, small track type situation.
No, I mean, statistically, the more diverse and like challenging the track is, or the rougher it gets, or the more different dirt combinations it has, or anything like that, my stats are better on tracks like that over big.
Because you're
static
you're
tracks.
adaptive.
I'm a motocross guy, right? I'm like one of the only guys that, I don't want to say only guys, but one of the few guys that actually go and try like an outside every now and again. There was multiple times this year that I actually ran the outside over the bottom just because I went out there and tried it, and nobody else even ventured out there, and I was able to run out there and win with it.
You think that like is partially too, a lot of maybe guys are out there practicing and they're like finding their quote unquote faster lines, and they're sticking to them more willing to try different lines throughout the race?
I think it's comfort. The bottom's always the most comfortable. Mm-hmm. It's always the most ran in. It has the least amount of dirt on it. It has the least amount of cushion on it. Your odds of rolling over in the groove are a lot lower than they are going out to the cushion and or in the cushion and trying to rotate out there.
Yeah.
So I think it's just comfort and mindset. A lot of people think that there's no way you're going to go faster on the outside, right? The fastest way around the track is on the bottom. So,
yeah. So after Anago, we go to Crandon. We're kind of wrapping up this season type deal.
okay.
You get a 1 and 2 mixed podium. And I guess the biggest thing that always I hear about Crandon from drivers is that they love to watch racing, but they hate to race it. And what do you think kind of like builds that stigmatism? Or why do you think drivers get stuck in that mindset of Crandon is a really hard track to race?
Probably passing.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part is passing. It's a track that doesn't have any rhythm sections. Every jump's a single. Kind of set up every turn the same. Set up on the outside, run the cushion. Pro 4s get to rotate a little bit sooner and use a little bit more of the track, but not completely.
Yeah.
It's just a track that it's hard. Any track that doesn't have like options ends up being pretty one line, and then people say it's less fun to race. Like,
Well, how often has Crandon actually changed that significantly throughout the years too?
The jumps have been altered, but
I mean, there was 1 year, maybe lasted 2 years. You go way back, way back. I had to have been in a pro light that the front stretch was a single and then a tabletop with a landing, and it was pretty long. And then if you overshot it or you cased it, you actually like blew the turn. And if you downsided it, you got to the bottom. And then the skybox jump, the face was on the hill, and we were downsiding where we're taking off now.
oh,
So that's how that all started. And then as it got graded, it pushed it all the way up to the top. It was way back.
yeah.
I don't even know what it was. It had to have been 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
When it had
Feels
the
like
tabletop. So that to me was cooler. And then that's also when they did the double roller at the finish. For a while, it was only a single or something like that, and they made it to 2. That was at the same time. So to me, that changed it. But then it slowly, as they graded it, just went away. It just naturally went away. The skybox jump got pushed up, and the barn jump just slowly got graded down until it got spread way out.
Till no landing zone.
Yeah, it's basically a wedge now, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, Crandon, I would say hands down, which I know my dad was there last week,
Okay.
running my Pro 4, and they're filling in the landings. They're the skybox jump and the launch zone jump. They're trying to raise them like 8 feet in the belly so that they're not as sharp. Because honestly, it ain't any good anymore for the sport. I've never
gnarly.
seen more broken shocks than I did this year at Crandon. This year at Crandon, almost one vehicle in every single class broke a shock and or was broke just in general from hitting so hard. Like, we're to the point that you have to hit everything wide open. If you realistically want a shot at winning, there's somebody in your class that's going to hit it wide open.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of if he finishes or not, right?
That was like when we had Steve on. He said he was getting hit. Was it the barn jump wide open in his light buggy?
Yeah, like that's what it's come to. You hit the jumps wide open and you take the beating. Mm-hmm. And I don't care if you say, well, shocks have come so far, you shouldn't be taking a beating, whatever. When you're going 90 miles an hour and you're 4,200 pounds, I don't care. You can make it stiffer, but guess what? Your G load just goes up that much more because it's trying to stop the same amount of weight no matter what. Yeah. You can make it softer and then it uses all the travel, but it might bottom out. Like any which way, at the end of the day, 4,200 pounds at 90 miles an hour hits at this amount of rate.
I think even a pro spec, I think blew a shock hose.
Everybody
and
was.
there was a big fire there. I forget the name.
Everybody was wrecking shocks. Like just all around, not just necessarily shocks, but all around. Crandon was really, really hard on stuff this year.
I mean, Kyle turned one into a banana.
Yeah. All the jumps are getting too big for no landing.
Yeah.
Right? We need landings or we need them tamed down, which nobody wants them tamed down for fan aspect. But like, I don't understand why we can't say like the skybox jump, take the lip and move it back 20 feet and make it a big booter, right? Your light buggies and stuff, long as you round off the downside nice, they can jump 20 feet.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, they can jump 20 feet. Then a Pro 4, instead of landing out on the flat past the hill, will still catch the downside.
Yeah.
Some of these other classes will still catch the downside. Like, we'll all still be, everybody will use the downside. The slower classes will use the top, and then as they go, they'll just go further down. Well, when we jump off the top of it, and then it just goes down, once you hit a certain speed, you no longer can hit that anymore.
Yeah.
And if you want big booters and you want the airtime and you want it to be cool, you have to make it safe for us too. And it's getting to the point where it's like abusive. Like, and unfortunately, we have to be idiots and hit them wide open.
Yeah, I think
some people send it even harder too.
Yeah, the skybox jump is probably the one place that I can remember big crashes at.
Yeah, for the last couple of years.
Yeah,
there's always one or two at minimum that go flipping.
Yeah.
So I forgot where this question started, but
we covered it.
Cool. Good deal.
He's good. Oh, you want me to go on this?
You can go ERX,
yeah, so we're going to ERX now. We already talked about ERX from the tracks, but throughout the years they've switched up ERX in the versions. Was there any version of ERX you liked more than the other?
I like where it's at right now. I think it's the best they've had. I know they've talked about even making more changes here and there, but ERX race as well. And I'm happy to be the only one that's ever tripled in.
I got that on video.
That was nuts. That's
successfully
cool.
Every year for the last 3 years. Must be 3 years now.
Yeah, I think it was the first time you did it. I was in the woods and I was like, I know he's going to go for it. I'm just going to keep the camera rolling.
Yeah. This year I did it in practice clean, and it was worth a lot. I was like over a second faster than anybody. And then in qualifying, we got an ass load of water.
Yeah.
Right before it, and they built up the exit of the sand just from the grader. And I still went for it, and everyone saw me case it and hit the wall and everything else, but whatever. This is what it is.
Had to try it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what makes it fun to me. Like, that's what we used to be able to do is, like, be different. Why does every class have to do the same rhythm? Like, why does 1600 buggy with 37 horsepower do the same rhythm as 900 horsepower? Yeah. Why can't we build something that, like, separates stuff a little bit?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Was I close? 37 horsepower?
I think it's a little more than that, but yeah.
A little bit more than that?
Well, feels like it sometimes.
Oh, I know
class 11 is like class 11.
Why are they allowed to do something different?
Yeah, they got what is it, dual carbs or whatever they call it.
What's
dual
a light
port.
buggy?
That's single port. We'd have to call Luke Alcox on that.
How much horsepower are those?
I forget what they are.
I mean,
I should know that.
A pro stock UTV is 100. Like a sportsman car is under 100. So like a VW like has to be 50, maybe at best 50.
Yeah,
Cool.
You're right around there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Never driven one.
With you racing, multiple classes, if you like go out first race and it's like a tough finish, mechanical failure, or something like that, how do you mentally like reset to get in another class so fast?
Doesn't bother me. I don't know. I mean, I think it's like that whole super short attention span thing. Like, everyone asks me, like, how do you jump class to class? How do you keep your focus? Whatever. I don't know. None of it really, like, affects me in any certain way. If I would say the only one that really affected me, and I'm probably kicking myself for saying this because in the future, maybe it'll bite me. Maybe. But I would say at Crandon this year, when I rolled on Saturday of Pro 4, I wasn't all there. Like, we don't have any concussion protocol in our sport. All you have to do is say, I'm good, and you get to go race. You could have dislocated shoulder, broken bones. You could literally have a concussion.
Broken sternum.
Anything, yeah. And as long as you say they're good, we have zero. Like, I think a concussion protocol is something that we should be mandated. If you crash, you have to go in there and see. I remember there was 3 specific times in that race before I rolled that in my mind I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, one time I pushed the clutch instead of the brake. One time I downshifted instead of upshifted. Like, there was things going on outside of that, like prior to it happening, that was like, what am I doing? Like, I don't even know. Like, I can't even gather it up in here.
Yeah. I think
Probably because I wasn't all there.
I think even a fan that knows you through your career even I recognize that it was like just off pace. It was something was odd.
Yeah, and like I said, it might bite me in the ass down the road now if there comes a day that I crash and then they're like, oh, you can't race. I had the opportunity. No one on my team or my family said I had to race. They said, my mom and my dad flat out said, like, if something ain't right, like, don't go out there. Don't put yourself at the risk, right? But I don't know, you don't get tested. You're sitting there, you feel fine. Until I was already strapped in and like going for it. There was like a small part of me prior to the race that was like, I think I should just drive around in the back and just take it for what it is. I look back at it now, and ultimately that's what I did anyways. So it after I rolled. So, but afterwards, you come like a week later, advance like a week later, I had the worst headache migraine of my life for 7 days straight afterwards.
Yeah.
It didn't matter what I did. And I look at it now going like, man, maybe our sport needs to be a little bit more enforcive on the hits that we're taking, right? Like we don't have, that's one thing that we talk about all the time in our shop is we don't have vehicles built to crush. A stock car, a NASCAR, all this stuff is built DOM. It's MIG welded, no points connect. They're built strictly to crush. When you take an impact, it's built to crush
And absorb it.
absorb the impact, but keep the driver safe, like the cockpit, right? Ours aren't. Ours are built to race the next day. So all the energy goes through the cage, your body, the hit you take. So
And you're strapped in so tight. It's not.
The harnesses come a long ways. I mean, you literally can suck your guts out. We have ratchets that suck our lap belt tight. We can pull it till it literally you can't breathe.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. So it isn't like we're loose and floating around and have suspension seats or any of that anymore. We're in fiberglass seats that are tight to your body so you don't hardly move, sucking your lap belt down, trying to hold yourself in there, and then you take hits like this and things like that ultimately probably you should be getting checked over afterwards more than what we do. What was the original question?
No, that's right. You're hitting on it, just how you like reset it between races and
so
yeah.
ultimately, me personally, I don't have a problem. Like I'm probably one person that's really, really consistent. Good day, bad day, whatever happens. Typically, you'll never see like a mood change in me. It is what it is, right? You're not going to change it. It already happened. None of your crew and or fans or anybody else were involved in it. They don't deserve, if you have a bad day, for anything to happen. A lot of us have separate crew guys that work on different vehicles, right? So you get out of one, if you're all worked up and you go drive like shit or you make a bad decision in the next one, all it does is affect the people that were helping you on that vehicle, right? Yeah. And they don't deserve that. They take time out of their day, vacation days, like we talked about before, to come there and help you. They deserve a smile, regardless of what happens, a friendship, a good time. That's why we come there. If it can't be fun, I ain't going to do it. I've said since day one, the minute this becomes not fun and something that I don't enjoy doing with my friends and or my crew doesn't like doing, we're just going to be done. We'll become a fad shop. We'll build hot rods. We'll plenty things we can do within our realm to make money outside of this. So I think that's a lot of what keeps me going on the side of race to race and good days, bad days, is just that attitude of we're here to have fun, and whatever happened. You can't change it. You can't go back on it. The only thing you can do is try to improve it and give it 110% the next day.
So I had a question in here. I can't find it, but going off my memory here about the crashing. Was that probably, where does that rank on your crashes? Because you had another pretty significant one in Pro Light with Hart, I believe, Marty?
Pro 2.
Pro 2.
Pro 2. So the Pro 2 one, I would say it was like the hardest hit I probably ever took because that was on concrete.
Yeah, what track was that? That was
like Chicagoland or Charlotte, or it was one of them small tracks. Yeah. And there was asphalt in the middle. And I think Kyle Hart was filling in for Marty.
Okay.
Or something along those lines. And I got tagged off a double, even the turn, and it went up and it flipped and it landed upside down on the concrete. I would say that was like my first time rolling, like physically flipping. And then landing on the concrete was a hard hit. It actually pushed like the whole center that you couldn't see it from the outside, but it like crushed like the whole interior down inside the vehicle. But that one, I mean, as I've crashed more, they become less, I don't know. Like I care less about it. In the beginning, if I were to crash, like the first time I crashed my Pro 4 at ERX, I hooked an edge in that orange Maxxis truck and rolled coming right before the finish.
Yeah.
On the old, I think it was before we had Ziegler.
Yep.
That one haunted me for a long time. Now it don't even make a difference. Like you crash, whatever, and sling it back in the turn the next time, right? The only thing that really set that one different was the mindset, like not only everything leading to it and the doubt I had already in that race. Obviously, start the day off with pro stock. I broke a shock and off the first jump on the front straight, and then I hit the second jump wide open and it landed straight to frame, right to the thing. So it like knocked the wind out of me starting right there. And then you go to pro mod, and I ended up getting taken out on the hole shot and went flipping onto the concrete. And then into pro 4 and the laps before that, like everything I was messing up and just like my mind wasn't there, right? It was all scrambled. It wasn't there. And then after the caution, I didn't, for some reason, typically I'm like pumping my brakes down sections and making sure that they're there. When I hit the brake initially, it wasn't there. And I knew when I hit the brake that I was going to roll in that turn. And I think if I would have been in a better mindset, I would have went, okay, the brakes ain't working. Just don't go for the turn, right? Run it up the track, blow wide, take it for what it's worth, and drive back down the track and go racing again. Yeah. Well, my mindset there was, oh, shit, I ain't going to make the turn. I'm just going to have to obviously start pumping the brake, downshift, and then just hold on and see what it does. But the minute I hit my brake, if you could have had a GoPro on me, I bet you my face went pure white. I knew instantaneously that's probably was going to become the outcome of it.
I got nightmares about my brakes not working, man.
Yeah, it's like random shit, right? And you never know. The problem is we go from everything being so hot to the caution lap of everything getting to cool down, and then shit just changes, right? Yeah. When it goes from hot to cold, your rotors shrink, your rotor hats, shit can change. A rock could have went through the wheel, or when you were going slow, was stuck in the caliper and it finally flopped out or whatever, and it pushed a pad out. It takes one pad to be knocked out for your brakes to not work that instant first push, right? Or 3/4 of it not work and only the last quarter work. Well, that's not what you had the whole rest of the race. You were relying on that perfect pedal or that consistent pedal that you had. And when you don't have that and you're not expecting it, like that's how hard we drive in Pro 4. We're on the edge of almost crashing, like trying to barely make the turn every lap. Yeah. You ain't doing this check up, okay, my brakes work, back on the throttle. Now I'm going to slow down. It's all or nothing. You go in there, you have one shot at it, it either works or it don't. So, back to your question, it didn't really affect me at all. I knew why it happened. It wasn't like it was one that caught me off guard or the truck did something weird and it bit me. I knew why it happened. I mean, I knew prior laps that I wasn't in the right mindset, and maybe ultimately that changed the outcome, or it could have changed the outcome, but yeah, part of the game.
Speaking of wrecks and crashes, I know it's in here somewhere, but I'm skipping. How is it racing with, like, in your case, family members, especially your dad? Like, how does that play into your mindset if, like, something happens where maybe, you know, Johnny wrecks, or, like, what goes through your mind in the race if that happens?
I mean, it's definitely tough, especially, like, my dad, for instance, has had a lot of really bad crashes, big crashes, especially in Pro 4. So that makes it more tough. I think the thing that makes it more subtle or more like easier on the mind is knowing we build them in-house, right? We build them. We know what they can take. We're not cutting any corners. We would never put either one of us or our team would let us go out in something that we don't think could take the ultimate hit and keep us safe. So I always know that there's never going to be a failure in the chassis and or a tube or something like that breaking and stabbing them, or myself, or something crushing and like hurting them that way. Obviously, G-force has its own mind and changes things with load and impact. But it's just kind of been like a part of the game, I guess. It's not necessarily the greatest thing to say, but he's had a lot in his career, and it's been since before I was racing. When he crashed in the Potawatomi truck, I mean, when I was young. I was 10, 12 years old, and the first thing I got shown was the in-car camera of it. Like, probably didn't need to see that at that age, right? I mean, the G-force almost ripped his helmet off, and you can see him freaking doing one of these, like trying to grab anything and all the different loads. And anyway, so and then his eyes afterwards, like years after that. Then he crashed at, I think, Pomona on the concrete with the Herbst.
Yeah.
So in that one, he was blind for like 15 minutes or something because it stretched his retinas. Like he said that he physically like pushed his eyes back in.
Yeah.
They weren't like dangling, but he said they were for 100% half out of his head.
That's crazy.
So I think being brought into it at such a young age, I just know, and coming from motocross, that I know that you're going to heal, you're going to come back to it, and we build our stuff and we build it strong and we build it right and go from there. That gives you an ease of mind.
Makes sense.
Do you brought up motocross. Do you have any wants or desires or regrets not chasing more of that aspect?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I enjoyed it. A lot of the guys that I raced with are pros and or retired now. Adam Cincerello, Aaron Plessinger, Cooper Webb, Justin Barsha. We're all guys that I have pictures with. Jeremy Martin, racing with locally in Florida. I call it local, but during the winter we lived I did anyways, at Waldo as a motocross track in Gainesville, Florida. And we did the Winter Am Series. And I've seen so many guys that were so good give up their life, and then one crash ended it, or one bad decision or something like that ended it, that it makes me thankful for the decision I made. I mean, I think the only one that I would maybe ever go back on, not necessarily go back on, but maybe go into it further, would have been the NASCAR career.
Yeah. So you've already kind of alluded that like big events don't really get in your mind or mess with you, but the 200 wins, Bark River.
Never came across my mind. If they would have never told me, I would have never known.
Who's keeping your stats then?
Not me.
Nobody?
Nobody.
Other than the announcers,
Yep.
guys like us.
Yep.
Because when we were doing our top fives, I messaged your dad and I was like, hey, can you send me your stats? And he goes, basically, good luck.
Yeah.
Here's kind of a gist of it.
I think all short course off-road racing, though, is like good luck. The further you get back, the harder it gets.
Yeah, I would say in today's world, more people now chase stats than they did then, right? Until Off-Road Hall of Fame became a thing just recently. It hasn't been going for that long. What were you going to do with them?
Yeah.
Fucking give them a high five when you walk out the door? Who cares?
Here you go.
Who cares? Go race.
I think
right?
now that's going to be like a feat that people are going to chase, but...
Yeah, the stats? Yeah,
Yeah.
probably. I didn't know nothing about it.
I mean, getting to 200 career wins is... I couldn't think of one person off the top of my head.
Yeah,
that
they
has
don't
a
count
shot.
Super Buggy in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have to. I think if the next person that does that is probably going to be one of these mod cart kids that's getting like a really early start, mod cart to pro spec, getting those pro spec wins, if they consider that a pro win. And
Yeah,
then,
it's hard to tell.
I mean, what? Owen has quite a few wins, and he's pretty young still.
Yeah, that could be something that.
But
I don't think.
other than that,
I don't think
like-
they'll ever go to a truck. So.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and honestly, until this year, he hasn't had like a super dominating year.
correct.
Right? Like to get, if you think about it, like 10, we only raced 16 rounds, and only
Yeah.
like 15 of them, whatever count. Some
You
of
did-
them cup races. I don't know if they counted cup races. I think it's just like pro points races or something. I don't even
but
know.
Even then, say we race 16 times a year, you win every single one. That's still 10 years of winning every single race. That's 160. That's not even 200 yet.
Yeah. It'd take you 15 years
Yeah.
to do it if you won every race all year long.
Yeah, not happening. That's a huge number to get to.
Yeah, I'm thankful to do it. Like I said, had no idea that it was even going on until Nolan brought it up last year. He's like, if you won like every race from here on out, you'd have 200 wins. And I'm like,
Thanks for adding the pressure.
all right. No, and it never even crossed my mind. And then when everyone started making like a deal out of it, I never once even thought twice about it. Like even when I won that race, I didn't know it was for 200. Like other people did. And I should have known, right? They were talking about it the whole weekend. Like, is this going to be the weekend you make 200 wins? Da, 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 da. And I won the race. And not once did I think like, yes, that was 200. Never once.
Yeah.
Never even crossed my mind until afterwards I got out. They're like, hey, that's 200. My mom brought a flag and like a monster flag, and we rode on it 200 wins and put the date and the track and whatever. Otherwise, I would have never even remembered it.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind, man. Like squirrel.
Yeah, it came across my thought process probably like halfway of a week before Bark River, and I was gonna print out a big 200 spinning chain and everything.
the whole gang, bro.
And Bark River's a perfect place. That place is the party place.
Yeah, Bark River, I mean, forever has been on the top of my list as far as favorite tracks, and the crew there and the people, the Lions Club, the fans we have there is awesome. I really enjoy going there year after year.
Yeah, there's a reason it's up in the corner. My favorite track, Bark
You
River.
guys notice 90% of the tracks look like a dick?
I think, yeah.
Yeah. I gotta get Glenn Helen on there just to confirm the shaping of it. But
Yeah, I mean, it just depends how you hang it.
yeah, I hang them so that the where you watch it is on the bottom. So it's easier to try to figure out which one's which and all that.
Figure out like what you're talking about.
Yep. But
Nice.
so side-by-sides came around 2016.
Yep.
Mid-season, ERX, they did their debut. And it didn't take long for you to get involved in side-by-sides. I think you were in 2018,
It might have been 17.
17.
I did the last race of the first year they ever did them
And
at
what-
Crandon.
Yeah, so the
It was
first
only 4 weekends.
yeah, so the first one we started ERX 2016. I know
And it
that
had
for-
to have been because I did a video shoot in a fucking yellow Yamaha at Chicagoland
Yeah.
for promoting the UTVs. And that same year, I raced Fall Crandon.
Yeah, I think Chicago was our second race. I think it went ERX
Maybe.
Chicago.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Because I raced Chicago, but it didn't take long for you to get in there as a factory driver and as a pretty short list of a fabricator.
Yeah, I mean, we ended up, so the first year would have been 2016 or maybe it was 2017 at that. I think it was 2016. We had a friend, Steve Rounds, that worked at Yamaha, and they gave me a demo that had like a couple thousand miles on it. And they're like, here, take this, make a race car out of it. Go race Crandon, and we'll see what happens. Okay, we went and raced Crandon with it. There wasn't a ton of rules back then, but we cut it apart and made it like a race truck, right? Like
Yeah.
full tube chassis, low. Obviously, if anyone knows any background on myself or my dad, we do all of our own suspension in-house. We've been doing suspension for short course. My dad's been doing it since before I was born. So obviously it had a lot different shock setup than everybody else.
Yeah.
And it just popped off. I mean, we dominated that first race, followed by the next year signing. I think I signed a 3-year deal right out of the gate with Yamaha.
Yeah.
And then I think I signed another. I was with them for 6 years.
Yeah, that first year it was like you and Weller
Yep.
that had Yamahas, and the rest of us pretty much had Polaris.
Polaris, yep.
Yeah.
It was majority bikeman stuff for the most part, right? And then,
And aftermarket assassin.
yep. And then we got into building them, and I would say we had to have built 50 plus YXEs
Yeah.
in our time.
They popped off for a while. That was
We were
crazy.
building 2 every 2 weeks. It would take us about 2 weeks with 2 guys, and they each doing 1, 2 every 2 weeks, like all off season long.
Yeah.
And then they started getting more advanced and more advanced and more advanced. And then now moving on to 2025, I just finished up my 4th year under my player's contract. So it's been a lot of fun. I think ultimately it's saved the sport, saved the industry. We get, call it 100 plus UTVs at every weekend, maybe 200 if you count youth. I mean, there's like 32 freaking 200s or 170s or whatever. So,
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
There's 8 classes, and I kind of evaluated it well over 100.
yeah. So ultimately, it's the stepping stone to our sport. Unfortunately, the downside to it is I haven't seen but maybe one person come out of UTV and be successful trying to move up. The problem is they're 4-wheel drive, and you drive them wide open. They're the only, once you move up, everything after that, you don't drive it that way. Until you get to Pro 4, everything's 2-wheel drive.
Yeah.
They don't learn how to drive that way. And the other shitty part about it is were on a project tire, where UTVs, every pro class is on a DOT. Pro 4, $100,000+ vehicle is on a DOT. And here we are with UTVs running projects.
Yeah.
That's what we need, is more one line, more follow the leader, more drive around the bottom. That's what it's turned into.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the minute the Hoosier tire became available or legal, call it the Bite or the Flat Tracks or the Maxxis SC1, the racing is sucked. Because the tire's good enough that every setup works decent, and you just drive around the bottom, and we don't have enough power to go around the outside anymore. When we were all on Ciros, the bottom had zero grip, and you chased the cushion, you set up your car to make grip. You actually messed with sway bar, you messed with suspension to make grip because we didn't have a tire making grip. Now you basically run the stiffest sway bar you can find that doesn't make you crash, and shocks that don't hurt you, but max stiff, and you use the tire to make grip. Yeah. And that's it, and you follow each other around in a line.
Yeah, I got Suros and Tensors that I can't get rid of.
Yeah, well, better off burning them. You could pay somebody, and they still wouldn't take them from you.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, that's what it's turned into. But the UTV side has been awesome for the industry. I would say the Polaris switch I made was probably one of the better decisions I've ever made in my career. Yeah. Outside of the product itself, just working with a American-based company, working with a company that
out of Minnesota, right?
Yep, they're based out of Minnesota. They're assembled in Mexico, along with Can-Am now as well, assembled in Mexico, but they're based out of the United States. And they also are a company that promotes like globally and on more aspects than just racing. I love trail riding. I enjoy doing all that and pushing their product as well there. Ultimately, some people don't see that side, but if it's not for our trail riders, we wouldn't be able to race short course. They're the people that sell units. They're the people that are buying units. They're the ones that are funding it for us to go play. So,
and I think when you think of trail riding, like you think of like Glamis, you think of like maybe like your Tennessee mountains, and then you think of Northwoods, between the trees, all that stuff that we have.
Yep.
I mean, really, like everything from, I don't know what you want to call it, the border there for trails, but everything from mid-Wisconsin up to all the way northern
through Michigan, yeah.
Northern Michigan is a good trail set.
Yep. And then you go to like Arizona and Utah and all that, and you can put license plates on them and drive them down the road. And then you go to California, you can go to Ocotillo Wells, you can go to Glamis, you can go to Plaster City, you can go to Barstow, you can go to all these places and just go rip.
Yeah, and they have the technology now. Like 2016, it was locker all the way around.
Yeah.
And pavement was not fun.
A bunch of garbage.
But now it's all open, electric diffs.
Yeah, I mean, they're a car. Like, I have everything I have that's not for sale is a Expedition or Ranger North Star edition with heat AC, heated seats,
it's crazy,
windows, windshield wipers, power windows, like you name it. And then yet you can literally pull off the trail or off the road and just go bombing through the woods and go have fun. So, one of the better decisions I've ever made in my life.
I seen your guys' Expedition on a post, and I was searching those for a good solid couple months.
They're a hot topic, man.
Then I stopped that team, and I was like, gosh, I'm so close.
It's tough. It's tough. Once you buy one, though, you're in love with it.
Yeah.
About every person on my crew and or surrounding has purchased a Polaris UTV and has loved every minute of it. Going trail riding together.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I know we used to trail ride all the time, and like I think too, like especially Polaris is like where it's at from a trail riding perspective. Like they've just advanced so far in that space. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, give the people what they want, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants a cab. Nobody wants to get dusty, dirty, any of that anymore. They all want heat. They all want AC. They all want to be out of the dust with a stereo and be able to just go cruise with their family.
Yeah, stereo was always my thing. I always put a big stereo in mine.
Oh yeah, you gotta have the beats, man.
Yep.
Smiles per mile, brother.
All right.
Why are some red and some black?
It depends on who asks.
Orange is for him to ask.
Yeah.
So we break them up.
You guys are so much more like coordinated than us. Just wing it all.
Well, we like the thing is like we started on this question, but these questions got answered back here. So
Yeah,
now I'm
whatever.
like looking through and I'm like, I don't want to double ask. but-
I just wing it more than he does.
Yeah, I mean that's what everybody wants to hear.
Your first off-road race. Do you remember your first off-road race?
Yeah, I do. It was at Paris, I think, California, in a super buggy. I got second the first day, and I don't remember if I ended up on the podium or not the second day. I don't believe so. I think I ended up like fifth or something, but I led a good amount of the laps the first day. My dad, I think that was the same weekend, we went riding moto on New Year's or Christmas or something like that, and he broke his collarbone. And then he had to have it plated, and then we raced like the week later, and he rolled, and to this day has a fucked up plate and collarbone hanging out, dangling out there because he never got the plate removed. And
That was mild steel, not chromoly.
I think it's all titanium.
Or
I think that's the only
titanium.
thing that
Yeah.
your body won't reject.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
But so,
Wait,
yeah, that was the
lining
first one.
up for your first race, waiting for the green to drop.
Bro, I don't hardly remember what I did yesterday.
All right, we'll move on.
He remembered where it was. You got to
Yeah.
give him the kudos.
Yeah, I mean, just be happy that I even remembered what the first one was.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast. So
Yeah, I mean, I think asking that someone that maybe has raced a few less times and maybe a few less classes would have like a little bit more like a remembrance or like memory of it.
Well, now it's so long ago too.
Just, yeah, it's almost 16 years ago.
it's a lifetime.
Dude, it's literally like, I think about like pro athletes, right? Do I consider myself a pro athlete? Not really. Some in our industry, like for our industry and sport, I am. But you think of like the average time, like a average time span of a pro athlete, like at the top of their career.
Yeah.
15 years, 16 years is a long time to be in
Yeah.
the same industry.
Yeah. What's a
Successfully
football
doing.
player?
So a typical NFL career is about 2 years. On average, it's about a 2-year career.
If you're on first
Yeah.
string, like type 2.
No, just like an average NFL football player lasts about 2 to 3 years.
What about baseball? He's big sports. He's got his
Baseball, I don't know that.
Forever.
Forever. Yeah, you could swing a bat for a long time.
Yeah.
Baseball's much longer. But for NFL athlete, most guys stay in the league 2 to 3 years. Obviously, you have your exceptions, and some guys play longer, but average NFL careers, I think, 2 to 3 seasons.
So Brett Favre boosts his.
Is that after the rookie career?
No.
Including, isn't your rookie career a 4-year contract?
A lot of guys don't even make it, though. Like, they
Finish
go in.
it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you probably wouldn't know that, right? Because you think of your starters. Your starters, I think, play more like 8 years.
probably.
Like is a stretch.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them do a rookie contract and then do another full year. I think quarterbacks last a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But
You end up getting, like, your practice squad guys that
yeah.
or guys come in and they fizzle out in a year, get cut, and like
Yeah,
that.
you think
breaks
there's
the
only
record.
12 players, 11 players that are your starters that are probably truly doing it 8-10 years.
Yeah.
And then everybody else behind the scenes, yeah, it's probably only like a 2-year swing.
Yeah.
But motocross guys, I would say, are in that like 6 years.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Right.
because they're
After-
always getting hurt.
Well, if you're good, I shouldn't say if you're good, because there's a lot of really talented. Everyone out there is very talented on a dirt bike to even be there. But your top guys, you can win one title, you can defend a title in lights, or if you finish 3 years in the top 2 or top 3,
Then you have to move up.
you have to move up.
Okay.
And then I don't know. I mean, you have your exceptions of like Tomac and Dungey and all them guys, but you're talking like 5 championships
Yeah.
of pro, like 450 between Supercross and outdoors. So you're talking 7 years or something like that.
Beats your body up big time to you.
Yeah, I mean everything. I think if you're doing it at a pro level, other than like, I don't know, playing the trumpet or something, it's probably pretty hard on your body.
Probably.
So you teased this year about a pro light.
Yeah.
one video.
I think you sent a lot of people off into fucking a crazy
That thing
land.
popped off, man.
Yeah.
That thing popped off.
Is there obviously a lot of things would have to change in order to make it happen?
Never. It would never happen.
Okay.
I'll just put a squash to it right away. It'll never happen. I mean, like one race, maybe, like I did at Wheatland when KGB and I got to race against each other. Something like that. If you ever think I'm going to own a Pro Light, I think Pro Light just needs to get burned. Like the whole class, get rid of it. They're not built for LSs.
Replace it with Pro Spec.
Pro Spec is what like the class was developed on, right? Mm-hmm. We have Pro Lights that are going Pro 2 speed. They're not built for LSs. Most of them can't even keep them cool. They're always overheating. They're going way too fast for the amount of suspension that they have.
And
narrow and heavy. And Pro Spec they were built off of 4 cylinders. You watch a Pro Spec, there's actually good racing. There's actually they work good. You hear people that drive them. Yeah, they don't beat the shit out of me. Pro Spec, and it's supposed to be an entry level class. Tell me what person has entered into Pro Light and been like semi-competitive. Nobody can, because people stay in it forever now. It's like an elite class now.
Yeah.
Needs to go away.
I think that's like the most popular thing we've heard of a bunch of people. I think there's agreement. Like if you have to take a class away, it's probably the one that makes the most sense.
Question.
Okay.
If you got to get rid of 3 classes, what are they? 1 pro and 2 sportsmen.
1 pro and 2 sportsmen.
Stock truck. I don't. Even, I have a cousin.
I'll give you mine afterwards.
So
well, let's do this. Basically, what it ends up and everyone's answers end up being 1 youth, 1 sportsman, and 1 pro. Is the way it just typically goes.
Yeah, I would. The youth is hard now because I have a kid that I'm like, all right, age group wise, I can get into a short course kart. But in my mind, I feel like either short course kart or 170/200s got to go, one or the other.
And then what else?
Stock truck.
Stock truck and Pro Light.
And then, Pro Light.
Pro Light, 570.
Oh, yeah.
And...
Well, we don't consider 570 because it's on like a 2-year base.
Okay, fair enough.
It's on a year. It's like on
it's a year-to-year
contract.
Well, I think they said last year we're only going to run it for 2 years because they discontinued them already.
Okay.
You can't get them. You can't buy them. So
we
basically just said 570. It keeps fizzling away, so it's going to extinct itself. You can't buy parts. You can't buy a car.
Last year, you couldn't even get a control arm unless you bought it used.
Right. So that class is going to go away on its own.
All right, dang it.
Pick
Back on the spot.
Pick another one. No pressure.
Sportsman Turbo.
Pro-Am?
Yeah.
Pro-Am Turbo?
Fuck yeah. That's a good one, too.
Okay, so my picks would have been, and I know, and I'll give you my stats behind it, my reasoning behind it. Well, obviously, stock truck, Pro Light, and I would say one of the kart classes. Yeah. And the only reason, and 570 I think is going to go away on its own, right? So take that out. So technically you're getting 4. I would say either mod kart or stock kart. And the only reason I say that is because you can't go to a dealership and buy a part.
Yeah.
Right? They're one-off. They're purpose-built for this industry. I think as a parent looking into, like, say, a 200, because eventually 170 is going to go away, right? It's just going to be 200 eventually. But you can resell it. It's still just a regular 200 racer. Yeah, it has a cage and a window net. You take the window net and the rock screens out of it, and you bolt the second seat back in it, and you can still sell it. Yeah, it doesn't have doors, but you could still sell it.
Second seat back in.
Yeah, you click the second seat. Hey, my Pro R seats, everything Polaris makes clicks in.
Yeah.
Everything. So you can always still sell it to your average consumer, and you can buy parts at every state in Wisconsin has somewhere you can buy parts, if not 10 locations in every state that you can buy parts. That's my only reason I choose a kart class over a UTV class is for a consumer, and you can't finance a trophy kart. You can finance a Razor 200.
Yeah. That's true.
I think
that's my stats behind it.
I think the only other thing we discussed for fun was running an adult mod kart class at night.
Yeah. We have breathalyzer before you get in. Do you got to be like over a certain number?
That's been spoken about too, yeah.
You got to be over a certain number or under? Depends what kind of night it is.
Yeah. I'm going to double back on that question.
Okay.
And it's in here somewhere, but...
Run her back. What
is the most optimal route? You say you got a 5-year-old, 4-year-old right now, because that's about the time that you can get into UTVs and kid karts. What's the most optimal route if you want to make a kid Pro 4?
Go through the ranks.
Yeah.
I mean, truthfully, all the youth classes are kind of just meh, right? Like 570 is older. So you're talking like a 5'4" I would say to start off, I would be at a little Buckaroos go-kart track.
Yeah.
I would be doing something that's a lot more cost effective, that you learn how to drive, you learn how to race, you learn how to do all that prior to coming to Champ. My biggest thing about Champ that's really hard for me to swallow for anybody is you have to pay to get in, you have to pay to park, you have to pay for your membership to sign up, you have to pay to sign up.
Yeah.
All you do is pay for everything, right? So by the time they get out of youth and into something else, everyone's burnt out.
Yeah, and your pocket's empty.
And your pocket's empty. So I think that's the best thing that happened to me and the best thing my parents ever did. I shouldn't say until, because that's still pretty young, but I did my first race at 14, my first full season at 15.
Yeah.
But by then, I knew how to race. I understood the fundamentals. You could actually talk to me, right? Spot for me, and I understood what was going on. Right now, I think the problem is, as much as I love the youth classes, I think by the time they get up to 570 or youth 1000 even, they're done. They're over it. I haven't seen anyone come through the ranks up to even sportsman yet.
I can't think of one person.
Paige Wahanowitz or whatever came from like mod kart into it.
Yeah.
But there's not really been anybody that's run, because 170s have been around for a long time already.
Yeah.
Stock, trophy carts, youth cart, whatever you call them, they've been around for a long time already. I don't know anybody that's come from 170 and or stock cart that went to like mod cart or 570 and has made it up to Pro-Am yet.
Yeah, we have
I think by then they're done.
Plumber, but I don't know if he was in 170 or stock cart. I know he came from mod cart.
I think you're better off to play in an industry that's a lot cheaper to learn the fundamentals and to not burn yourself out and or them out. I think you get burnt out a lot more as a kid, and you get a bad taste in your mouth when you're really young and you're in these races that you really don't understand what's going on. It's just a lot.
And what we talked about before, like then as a youth, like your whole summer is at the track, which I mean, for me, yeah, that would be awesome. But like you said, you get burnt out as a kid and you're always at the track. And
I mean, a really good example is, do you guys know the story on Eli Tomac?
No.
His dad, until he turned pro or just before pro, would only let him race on the weekends, and that's it. You weren't allowed to practice. You weren't allowed to go ride during the week. You weren't allowed to train. You were allowed to go mountain bike. That's what he did. You want to train? Go ride mountain bikes. Keep riding mountain bikes. Because he said that was the only way he was going to not be burnt out. Because so many of these kids now, you give up so much. And that's what they're doing in this sport too. You give up from when you can walk. I mean, I rode a dirt bike. I did my first race on a dirt bike at 2.5.
Yeah.
And then raced until I was 14. And that's the route that I was planning on going, right? But you think about that, like what your body has taken, what your mental stake has taken. If I had a parent, luckily I don't, neither one of my parents, but was like forceful or pushy that whole time, there ain't no way I would have continued.
Yeah.
I could quit at any time I wanted to, thankfully. But a lot of these kids can't, right? Their parents gave up their house. They live in a camper. They did all this stuff. They have to make this work. And they're doing it out of spite of like, I need to make this work.
Yeah.
That would be my biggest worry about, even in a trophy cart now, a trophy cart, a youth cart, anything like that. The cost it takes to go do this and to race as often as we race.
And be competitive, yeah.
And be competitive, and the time and effort, I just don't see it being a sustainable like progression.
Well, and I agree with what you were hitting on, Nick, especially if you get to like a group of one parent or maybe both parents are pushing the kid, pushing them harder or forcing them into it, where maybe they want to go at their own pace, but the forcing of it will also make them burn out faster. And I think we've seen that throughout the years with some of the kids that they just burn out.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I'm glad I got into it when I did. Put it that way. If I would have been in it right from the get go, I just don't think I'd be able to still do it. I think there's a lot of different ways of racing that you can go do that are way more affordable. That you're getting the same. Really, you're trying to teach your kid the basics, right? Yeah. It's all they're really comprehending in the beginning is the basics. Once you get older, you can teach them a lot of things a lot quicker in the matter of a year, right? And because they understand, they get it. When they're young, it's really, really hard to explain anything. I'm just in there driving around because they're just got strapped in and they're like, yeah, let's go.
So when they're in their teen years, then you would say first class to enter into for off-road racing would be like pro spec?
No, I would put them in a youth side by side and or like sportsman first, because I think you're gonna learn a lot about racing, how to pass, or a buggy class. To me, the best thing I ever did was get put in a buggy class first because you couldn't hit. It's open wheel. You pay the consequence, right? Yeah. That's what taught me to be a clean driver. The drive the way I drive now, the way to be patient, the way to set people up. Super buggy is the most patient class you have. You try to force it, you're both probably going to crash and someone's not going to be happy. Yeah. You got to be patient. You got to make it clean. You got to be very precise on the moves you decide to make. So it goes a long ways. I think that's the things you need to learn before you get into like something like pro spec. Yeah. So you need like that year or two. I did 2 years in super buggy. You need probably 2 years in something before you go pro spec, and probably in that like 12, 13-year-old range. Yeah. Maybe a little bit older, but you can definitely get them in younger now. I think if they change the rules on Youth 1000, it's a really good option. I think if they open it up to 1-year-old cars, you don't have to have the bed in it. You don't have to have all this shit that you have to have now. And you do any 1-year-old UTV that has raced or been built. I mean, no brand new builds, right? Keep the cost out of it. Yeah. Keep the cost down and still do the limited ECU, but allow them to do shocks, allow them to do ECUs, allow them to do all that stuff so that when you're done, if you do 1 year in youth, you can go to sportsman the next year with the same car. Yeah. That's the problem they have now is the youth cars are so one-off. We built one for Carson Hill and he ended up going sportsman instead. And it's a one-off car. Like, it's not really good for anything. I had to build it to the rules to be able to accept a stock bed and can't have a sway bar and you got to have stock shocks and all this stuff. And he spent a bunch of money on shit that you're never going to use in any other class ever again. Yeah. And then you get done with the car and you want to go to sportsman or pro-am with it, and it's a disadvantage. It has all the plastics in it. Everything's really high because it had to be stock. And now here he is building a new one. I'm building a brand new one every day now. One of his cars on our table is for them. So he got 1 year out of it because it was built for youth. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. From a outside standpoint looking in, you have to have a car that makes sense. Like if you do 1-year-old cars, yeah, okay. It's got to have a 50% ECU. Okay. Well, then make the rest of the rules the same as Sportsman Pro-Am, because then they can go youth, and then next year they can go Sportsman.
And use
or
the car.
A year or two, same car. They don't have to go buy another one. Then after that, if they want to go Pro-Am, whatever, make it the same car across the board. Basically, if you make it so that you can run a youth car from youth to pro stock, people will do it. Yeah. You make the rules, just keep bolting stuff on, right? Like youth is 50%. Sportsman's 100%, but still stock intake, stock exhaust, that kind of deal. Okay, now Pro-Am, you're allowed an exhaust, and now Pro Stock, you're allowed an intake exhaust and a tune.
A little bit of weight difference.
And a little bit of weight difference, and some other bolt-on parts. But you can take that same car and continue to build it progressively, build it, and bolt parts on. As they get wore out, you can move up a class and put the next thing on. Yeah. And it's the same chassis. The chassis, unless you crash it really bad, they don't wear out. They're bolt-on parts. Go freaking bolt on some new bushings. Like, it's all over-the-counter stuff. It ain't like... And to even further that, we've had Pro 4s we've ran the same chassis for 10 years. It isn't something that... It needs to be something that has progression to it. And unfortunately, like right now, that's where I think burns out a lot of the sport, is you buy a 170 or 200, and not as much them, but maybe... I don't mean to pick on them, because I like Aaron's and I love the trophy carts, but... What do you do with it afterwards?
Yeah.
What happens if Champ goes away?
What do you do with the mod card afterwards?
That's what I'm saying.
Other
Yep.
than the adult class that we're talking about.
Or sell it to somebody that's hopefully getting in, right?
Yeah.
Where a UTV, potentially, if you made the rules correctly, it's the same. You could take the same car and run it forever
Yeah.
until you move out.
Yeah.
Makes
That's my
sense.
hot take.
I like it.
Me too. I'm a fan.
Toyota, if they produced a Pro 2 engine, would you add Pro 2 to your
They'd make a Pro 2 engine.
Recently, right?
No, Soda doesn't make heads.
oh, that's the problem.
That's the problem. You got to have Soda heads on them. It's a spec head. That's the only difference.
And
So they only make them for Ford and Chevy.
and Toyota also seals them too, right?
What, seals our engines?
Yeah, like you can't.
No, they have to be sealed for the series.
Oh, okay.
The series requires a seal on them with a tag number and then a paperwork that provides cubic inch.
Okay.
And then they get pumped to make sure they match it. And then as long as that sealed engine is in there, the paperwork's good for it. And if you race with an engine, you change engines and it's not pumped and you don't verify them and the tags don't line up with what they have, bye.
So if they made a head, would you put Pro 2 on your roster?
If I had budget, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard because UTVs took that spot, right?
Yeah,
And
you
UTVs
would be
make us
4 in a row.
Well, yeah, I would for surely get rid of one UTV class, but UTVs are such a huge part in our industry and in our business that it would be really hard to, like I don't think I'm going to sell enough Pro 2s if
Yeah.
I went back to that class to generate the same income I make off of UTVs.
Yeah, so it'd be like a passion project.
Yeah, it would be just to say you did it.
One weekend run every pro class.
No, you won't see me in a pro light.
Pro
like
buggy?
racing. I'd race a super buggy. So a lot of people don't know I raced Lucas Oil one of their last years with Roberts Racing in a racer engineering super buggy. Did like 4 or 5 rounds in it. Had fun. It's kind of like UTV racing, honestly.
It's like
Glorified.
like riding a bike.
Yep, glorified UTV racing is what it is.
Yeah.
Bigger, wider, not really any faster, and just as one line.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
All right. So let's talk about fan interaction a little bit. What is your most memorable fan interaction?
I don't know. We do a lot of fan stuff. I mean, every year we do like the huge giveaway at the end of the year, which is pretty wild. My the only like I shouldn't say only, but like the best memory fan interaction has nothing to do with me, and I can't say it on here, so I'll tell you guys afterwards. But otherwise, I mean, I enjoy all the fans. I appreciate every one of them coming up. A lot of them give us stuff, and we appreciate that and do our best to wear it and or bring it along or put it in the race truck or something for the weekend. And we have a lot of great fans. So I would say one that sticks out is the Fuck the Greaves guy and his wife that go to Anago and Crandon. Like, rock on, brother. Rock on. You look like you're going somewhere.
That's funny.
Like, legit. Like, my dad and I have been trying to get a picture with him for years now, and it just hasn't worked out.
All right, so if anybody knows him, tag him. We'll connect the dots here for you.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's pretty awesome.
So that's got to be probably linked in with the same one of the oddest fan interaction.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I haven't interacted with him, but
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just got a lot. Like, my attention span's so short that I don't like.
You don't remember? Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it's probably
happens
my
in,
like my biggest downfall of myself is I take too much stuff like for granted, right? Like, it goes. There's so much stuff going on all the time. Part of it is because I raced 3 back to back to back. You don't ever get like that time to like soak it all in and like take in the moment or like take in all the memories and all the stuff that happens in between. Because they're usually waiting on you to get in something else or go do something else, right? So you're just like, your mind's constantly going. So if I had time to like sit down and like think about it and actually like think back to all the different stuff, I'm sure, yeah, there's a lot of great things that we've had happen. A lot of great fans, a lot of people that support us, and we're very appreciative of that. But it's hard to put a finger on just one.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So you're doing some one-off racing stuff coming up this weekend, and
Yep.
you've done some one-off stuff with it's a UMP,
Cole was in a UMP modified,
and you were in the Pro 4.
and I was in a Pro 4 this summer before the race season started, and it popped off. It was wild. It was like the biggest fan night that they had, or close to it all year long. It was almost sold out. So that was super sweet. Me and Cole Charneski, his dad owns 141 Speedway here in Wisconsin. Now we're changing it up a little bit. This weekend, original plan was I was going to race a mod, and I still am. I'm going to race Cole's car that he ran the good bit of the year this year. And now he's into his new car partway through the year, and I'm going to run his car from last year and part of this year. His modified. I'm going to get to go practice tomorrow, so I'll actually get some good seat time in it. We moved the seat last night and go race Friday, Saturday. So that'll be really fun. And then his dad, Tim's like, hey, what if we bring some UTVs to this? You think you can make it happen? Actually, Todd from 21 Gun, he started it sounds like, with my buddy Jacob Blumke. And then Tim and I were playing phone tag back and forth in between there, and eventually got on the same page and was like, all right, well, let's put something together and see what happens. So hopefully we get some good UTVs that show up. If it continues to be a thing, they're willing to put up some money down in the future and put some rules to it and make it like a set in stone thing, not just something that we came up with 3 days before the race or a week, whatever you want to call it. So this Saturday,
September 11th then would be the UTV race.
yeah, it's just Saturday. So Friday's a regular night show.
October, but
Yeah,
that's
that too.
September.
October.
That
I'm
too.
glad you got that corrected.
I was like, wait, what? Are we going backwards?
Yeah. So, this weekend at 141, we'll have regular night show Friday, full night show Saturday with UTVs on top of it. So,
Cool.
if you're looking for someone to go camping, they got camping, they got spectator camping. You can camp right there. They got a DJ Friday night and Saturday night. If you've never been to 141, it's the only track I know that has a bar on the top of the bleachers.
Yeah, you can
It's
watch
literally
the
the
race.
bleachers and the bar on the top where you walk along
Yep.
the thing and there's food and a full-blown like normal bar. Then you can stand inside, all glass windows if you want. Watch out the windows.
Yeah.
They have the live stream going inside there the whole time. And come out, check it out, have some fun with the family, get some cheese curds, and watch some racing.
Yeah.
Always a good time.
Frozen Rush. You did it 1 year.
I did.
Your
Yeah.
dad did it two or three.
2 or 3, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
It was sick.
They should bring it
Most
back.
most expensive event Red Bull's ever done.
Oh wow.
That's what they say anyway.
Yeah.
That's why it went away.
I could see that.
That makes
But
sense.
it was cool. It was cool. It made it expensive because obviously they paid all of us to go.
Oh.
They paid for made it so it didn't cost you anything. Put it that way.
Okay.
So they gave you a place to stay, a heated tent. They paid you travel, all that stuff, but it wasn't cheap. You had to try to get 8, 10 Pro 4s to go to Maine.
Yeah.
So being that half of them are West Coast based at the time, to go all the way to Maine is a long ways. So it was really expensive. And then we had to try to freeze the snow every night and try to prep it. And once it broke apart, the track just got worse and worse. And they had to rent a ski hill facility to be able to do it. They had to rent like half the ski hill and whatever. So
and
it's-
even allow the trucks to tear up the hill.
yeah, I mean, it was super badass event. One that will go down in like history, right?
Yeah.
YouTube short course off road Frozen Rush like comes up. One that'll go down in history, but not probably never happen again.
That's sad.
Maybe it'll happen. I think Crandon's talked about trying to do it on their track of some sort, do
Yeah.
something like or a YouTube video or get somebody out there. I know BFG still has the tires and are willing to lend them out. If somebody's like legit, right? They're not just gonna give them to
Yeah.
Johnny Picker farm over there to put on his tractor, but they're willing to give them out. They actually had like a machine, so the stud didn't go through the back. It was like a plug that was rammed in there with a machine and glued in. It has like a big old head on it, and it was like pre-molded. I don't know, and then
Yeah. It's a pretty intense process.
because the stud was an inch long
Yeah.
and 900 horse, and we didn't rip any out. Could you imagine that thing coming at you like a bullet? No good, Mr. George.
No thanks.
I mean, we've talked about you doing NASCAR stuff, and and then obviously the Frozen Rush and the UMP stuff. But do you have any desire to dip into other categories, maybe like Dakar or rally or monster trucks or?
Not necessarily maybe in those particular, but I'm always like, honestly, one of something that most people probably wouldn't guess, but I've always been really intrigued about is running like on-road pavement, like running 24-hour Le Mans, or something like that in a Daytona 24-hour car or something like that. I raced Mid-Ohio 24-hour race with one of my friends, or a 12-hour. It might have been a 12-hour, and had a ton of fun doing that. Obviously, this weekend I'm running a dirt modified. Maybe in the future here there might be some opportunity to go dirt late model racing. It all depends. It all depends, honestly, on the series and what they do. If budgets don't change and we can't get the schedule and we can't get the funding we're not going to keep doing it out of pocket. This is our business, right? So a lot of people have a business and then they're funding their racing with their business. And as long as their business keeps doing good, they'll keep racing. Well, our racing is our business. So if we can't keep the funding going and the series can't keep growing where sponsors are willing to spend money, we're just going to start cutting races. Mm-hmm. That's what we're going to do. We're going to start running a limited schedule too. So that was already a talk for next year. Is it going to happen? Who knows? Until every agreement's on the dotted line and we even know where we're racing or when we're racing, that'll be a question up in the air. But there's definitely has been some serious thought in moving other directions lately.
Yeah. I know we bumped into each other in the airport probably pretty close to 2 years ago. And we talked about a Lemons race in a beater car that I had. And we never put that together yet. Maybe that's this winter project.
Dude, Crown Vics are taking off. Look it up. Yeah. Crown Vic dirt track racing. All over. Like big money.
Yeah.
Crown Vics. Don't know why. Look it up. That's like the hot thing.
Yeah.
Jeb Boodle says that Everett's going to get one, and they're going to start doing it. I don't know. Apparently there's some money in it, and it's cheap to race.
You brought up Crown Vics, and I got to bring this up.
Oh,
so
you have one laying around?
No. Next time you're in Florida,
go to the Freedom Factory.
You got to go to the Freedom Factory, and get us a
10
race.
minutes from my house.
Yeah, get us a race there.
Yeah, where?
Well, that's what I've been told. Is the space is pretty limited.
Yeah, and it's all pavement. They pavement the whole infield and everything.
Oh, okay.
So, honestly, there's been thought that I don't know why short course isn't being more diverse. Why are we so one-dimensional? Why is every track roughly the same? I mean, you go back in the day, we went to Eldora and we raced on the oval and they just put singles on it and it was kick-ass. Was it like the sickest video you've ever seen? No, but there was Pro 2s doing almost like 90 some miles an hour around the top of the oval against the cushion with a couple singles and like a double on the back straightaway.
Yeah.
We could go back to events like this, like 141. You would sell out. That place would be sold out, standing room only, all the way around the whole entire track. And he's willing to use the infield if he had to. Like, he's all right with it. But that's never even a consideration anymore. That's like, and it's the one thing I know people say, like, you can't go, like, we were all skeptical about Glen Helen. We weren't skeptical about Glen Helen because we're trying something new. We're skeptical because we're trying something new 40 hours away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to remember, short course now has become Midwest based.
Yeah, definitely.
90% of the teams, even if they're not from here, have a shop here now. Yeah. So if you're within 4 hours, call it Central Wisconsin, call it Green Bay, 4 to 6 hours, I don't think anyone's going to gripe about it, right?
Yeah.
For the most part, that's pretty reasonable for everybody. Everyone's pretty close. And you're still like trying new things. I think hands down, we should be trying to go race at an oval somewhere and just race on the oval. Go to a successful oval track and just put singles on it, whatever, and go race.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's be different. Let's change it up.
Wheatland split the weekend. One day on the off-road track, one day on the oval.
Yeah, that would be sick. Dude, I would
That'd be
enjoy every
sweet.
minute of it. I think you'd be surprised. So we did it in side-by-side sports at Eagle River.
Yeah.
We did half the race with the infield, off-road style, and then the last half of the race on the oval only. And anyone you talked to, it was one of the most fun races they ever had.
You guys did one at 141 too.
Yep, and we used both.
Yeah.
And
It was like
I
a
think maybe we
horseshoe
used a
type.
joker lane on staying on the oval.
Yeah, I can't fully remember.
And we did a joker lane at Chicagoland,
Yep.
staying on the oval one year. And it was freaking awesome. And
It
we
was
never
nuts.
did it again.
It was nuts.
Never did it again.
It was fun to watch.
That was an in the morning drivers meeting decision. I remember being in there,
Mm-hmm.
and you guys were like, "Hey, why don't we take the cones down and do a joker lane?"
Yeah, and they told us we could practice it, and I was the first one to do it in a Pro 2, and I dusted everybody. Like, bad. Bad.
Yeah. Alrighty. Your dad is consistently on a top 3 list. What is one of the biggest lessons that he's taught you?
If you want it done right, do it yourself. I would say that that's the one thing that not many race teams can say they do. We do everything but the engine in-house. I mean, we do our own suspension. We do all of our own service work on everything. Trannies, rear gears. We set up rear gears for other people. Front drive, you name it. Through and through, other than the engine, everything's done in-house. We build our own chassis in-house. We do all of our welding in-house. So that's the biggest thing. You want it done right, do it yourself, and do it within a reason of what you can afford. Not what a lot of people's misconception is that Pro 4 or any of these classes is you need $2 million. You need $1 million to do it. If people knew what we spent, they would laugh. It's that minimal. We don't ship nothing to anybody. People spend more money on shipping than we do on servicing our transmission. We have front diffs that are 6 years old.
Yeah.
We just take them apart, rebuild them ourselves, order the parts. It's the guys that pull the tranny out, ship it somewhere, and they got to freight it here, freight it there, and rear gear, I need a rear gear, and they ship the rear gear somewhere, and they pay someone to set that up, and you should pay for shipping there, you pay for shipping back, you pay that guy $180 an hour these days, labor rate,
Yeah.
and all you're doing is pay, and then you're paying someone to bolt it in and unbolt it. Like, yeah, you can spend $1 million quick if you wanted to, or you can learn how to do it yourself and spend minimal money, and have a very successful program.
Yeah. That's a good point. I mean, you guys have a mechanic for each truck, basically, right?
Yep, we have two full-time mechanics, my dad and myself, and then once the race season starts, we start building race cars for other people.
Cool.
That's what funds our off season.
It's a good formula.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, going back to fans and everything, when you have so many good fans, you're bound to get some haters.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, what do you think the biggest misconception is about you, or something that you'd want those haters to kind of know? That it's like,
The haters, they don't need to know shit. Most of them made up their mind already, and they don't care what this true story is or what it is. They just don't like you. I mean, I look at it the same way. If you told me that already, look at Jet Lawrence. This is a perfect example. He's won like 2 championships or 3 championships in Supercross, and he's already like, everyone cheers if he gets a bad start or falls down, right? Because it's like, oh shit, there's going to be a race. Like, I even catch myself doing it like, oh, awesome, he got a bad start because now it's going to be a race. Well, now imagine that for the next 10 years. I'm telling you, I'd be like, fuck that guy. So I get it. Like, hate on, man. This is my job, whether you like it or not. This is what I'm paid to do, is go out there and win races and win championships. And yeah, I get it. It gets old. It gets old for the same person to be in the same industry for that long and doing good. There's not many industries that happens. So it's usually by the time you're starting to get hated, you're moving out. Yeah. That's when Devin told me, he's like, you made it now. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you made it when like the haters start becoming as loud as like the fans, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
when people start making shirts.
Yeah. I mean that they probably made shirts before the haters were real. But what's wild is we still have like the #1 selling clothing, merch. Yeah. We can literally sell out at any time we want, almost any track we want. So I mean, it just goes to show that a lot of times the haters are louder than the people that support you, but yet our fans show up when we have clothing and we have giveaways and we have all that stuff going on. They show up. But I think the biggest misconception maybe would be like, if you've ever met me, most of the people that don't like me have never met me. A lot of my best friends today hated me at one point, and they never met me. They just see, I don't know, one side. They see the side that majority of them, somebody told them this or told them that, or they didn't like them. So then you just naturally like, yeah, if you don't like him, I don't like him. He's my friend. He probably has a reason, right?
Yeah.
Where once you meet me, you hang out, and just like everybody else. If you ain't got a problem, I ain't got a problem. Even if you do have a problem, I'm still not gonna have a problem with you. There ain't many people that I have a problem with in the world at all. So I just try to have fun, be able to go to the races with everybody and put in the work. That's the biggest thing is I was supplied the tools to do it at a young age, but I was told that if you can't figure out how to do it the proper way, then you ain't going to do it. It wasn't like, we're going to make this work no matter what it costs. It was, here's a super buggy. You're going to figure out how to go get sponsors. I got my first ever title sponsor on my own at 14 years old. Did my deal with Mike Jenkins on my own. And you're going to figure out how to get sponsors. You're going to figure out how to work on it, build it, do all the prep. There's not been, from the year I started to current, that I haven't prepped one vehicle all season yet long.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing is I was given the tools, but I still had to put in the work and make it realistic. It wasn't going to be, you can screw off, spend a bunch of money, drive like a knucklehead and not care and still go. No, if you can't figure out how to do this within reason and make it worth our time, we'll go do something else. So
yeah, even today, like when I stop by the shop, you're working on the UTV,
something
working on the truck. I mean, it's not like you're just sitting there with a clipboard going, all right, order this part or fix this part or whatever not.
We're busy all the time, So anything UTV related is these days is all me. So nobody touches nothing. I do all my own prep on both cars, wheels, tires, load my trailer, unload my trailer, clean my trailer, wash everything. Anything to do with UTVs is all me.
I think that's like the casual fan probably doesn't know that side where
for sure.
I think they just feel like maybe you show up and just drive.
Yeah.
But like you're around and get to know you start realizing, no, he works on his own stuff, and that's cool.
Yeah, and on the race weekends, I don't. I have crew guys, thankfully, that take their hard-earned time and vacation to come help me and enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't have to, but I have a bazillion other things going on a race weekend that I'm trying to get done and get helmets ready and do interviews and everything else that there wouldn't be enough time in the day to do it all on your own. So
yeah. Shifting from the haters to the opposite, it's kind of been known that you're in a committed relationship now.
Oh, wow. As of like last week, huh?
Yeah. And you're 30 now, so it's not out of the range to think that things might get serious. So when you're thinking about popping the question, do you think you would have your dad be the officiant? Because he's done weddings before at Crandon, hasn't he?
Oh, I don't think he's like officiated any weddings at Crandon. He was part of Chris White's wedding, but he drove my Pro 2, I think, and they rode on top of it.
Oh.
Is the way that went. But let's walk before we can run. We've been a month into a relationship here.
Okay, I didn't know it was that close.
Yeah,
I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. We weren't dating at Crandon, put it that way.
Okay.
So we're a month in, but it's been a good time. And other than that, it's been like 6 years. So let's walk before we can run today.
All right. 5 years down the road,
we'll reconsider.
Fall Crandon, you're gonna do some Leduc style stuff.
Maybe. Why did he propose there?
No, he got married at the.
Oh, Kurt Leduc.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
This year. I thought that was wild. It was
Let's flip back to the trucks, and we were kind of on the topic, and I didn't get to jump in, but as the technology keeps evolving in the trucks, and you're starting to see, clusters that look like they're off of F1 cars, things like that being run, do you think there's going to be a point where just like having to keep up with the technology is going to drive the cost to be unaffordable?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's already become to a point that I don't think that anything we're doing is making anything faster or a whole lot better. All we're doing is spending money for no reason. I think Like between, obviously Motec is something that's common now. You need it for the health and well-being of your engine and managing it. But there's a lot of things that a lot of us were on the fence about, allowing, not allowing, as far as like, still a lot of it's not allowed. I think along the lines of stock car racing, NASCAR racing, and that aspect of keeping it simple, stupid is what needs to happen. Air, paddle shifting, and all that in Pro 4, is it cool? Yeah, it's cool. Do I think it saved anybody money? Probably not. It probably spent a bunch of people's money. I know a lot of people had a lot of trouble with it and put it in, took it out, put it in, took it out. Is it something that the sport needs? Probably not. It probably doesn't need paddle shifting and launch control. And I think there's trucks out there right now that have automatic clutch pedals that are electronically controlled on them right now. Is that stuff the sport needs? Probably not. It is stuff that costs a lot of money that really doesn't serve a huge purpose, other than being cool. And some call it a performance gain, some don't. I mean, a lot of the vehicles that are still winning are just simple. You still just grab the shift handle, or it's all the basics. So I don't think that there's been one. I can't put my hand on one thing that has changed any of the classes. I think you could probably take Stilo or Johnny Holter's Pro 4 Big Red and be just as competitive as anything that are both 10-year plus old vehicles. Being that we're on dirt and DOT tires and uncontrolled surface for the most part, I don't think any of it's really going to change anything anytime soon.
I mean, Mickey Thomas has Henderson's old truck and
runs just fine.
Yeah.
Which was Doug Fortin's old truck.
Yeah.
It's been through many hands already.
Ronnie has, I don't know.
Yeah, and RJ has an old Eric Barron truck that was cut apart that Deegan had and converted it back to an old Pro Light. RJ Anderson's rear suspension is the oldest technology. It has the pivot on the top of the pumpkin still, like a Pro Light, and Pro 2s haven't even done that. Pro 2s have converted, the rules have converted to allowing the pivot to be stationary on the chassis side and just the wishbone going out at the back of it on the rear end housing. It's stronger, performs better, so-called, right? Whatever. But it hasn't made a single difference. RJ's just as competitive as anybody. We've obviously did the upside down low roll center chassis now I've been on one for a long time. I've been on one for probably 5 years already. And now 90% of the classes. Jimmy's is the same way. Adrian's is the same way. My dad, myself, Kyle Cheney, Robert Stout. Your conventional rear end housing trucks are Cole, Willis, or Justin, or Paul Wolf, whatever way you want to go with that, and then Mickey is all that's really left. So, do I think it changed the game? No. There's many, many days that if you ask me tomorrow, hey, do you want to build one this way and try it again next year? I would say, yeah, I'd go back to the old way. I don't think that. I think it goes back to you can basically skin a cat 6 different ways and get the same result.
Yeah, makes sense.
All right, I think we're down to 2 last questions here.
He's on the wrong page.
He's on the wrong page.
This guy's
Probably.
my style.
You want to pop?
You could go. You could go.
Well, if you're not racing, what would you be doing instead?
Building something or another.
Building something.
Building hot rods or building something. I like building stuff because it keeps a wandering mind like mine going all the time, right? Because you can always fab something different. You can always build something different. You're always trying to figure out ways to either make it better, easier to build, or more efficient, or just for fun, I guess.
Absolutely.
I build pool cue stands every now and again. Built my dad one for our shop, and that was fun, out of scrap metal. So I like doing stuff like that too.
Nice.
Yeah. Alrighty, then unless you got anything else, you want to go with the podium question?
Dude, I'm really on the wrong page. It's up to you. Oh, the podium. I've got it.
We're there.
Yes.
We're back.
So you might be able to, I think you hit this one a little bit, but we'll go back to it. What is your most memorable moment in your racing career so far?
Probably winning that cup race in, I think, 2013 with my dad. where we came across the line side by side at Crandon. I mean, that picture still floats around everywhere.
Yeah.
We got it
That was
everywhere.
pretty awesome.
And
I
it was
remember
dark out
watching it,
too.
yeah.
It was like almost dark, so it, like the whole atmosphere in the picture. And that was my first cup race, and he let me win, but I'll take it. And I think that's one that him and I will both forever long take to our grave as one of the greatest ones. It was the first one, right? It was the first time I think we ever raced against each other. So to be able to do that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the memories. Like, I don't have many that really stick, and that's one of the greatest ones is Devin coming on the radio with a lap and a half to go. I was coming to the white, going down the skyboxes. And Devin comes on the radio and just goes, "It's just you and your dad." And I'm like, "Wait, what? Where's everyone else?" They're like, "No, it's just you two. Like, you guys are gone, and it's gonna come down to you two on this last lap." And that was all that was said.
And they just, both of them just sat there as spectators, letting you guys duke it out.
I guess, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's one that will forever long be remembered. We've never been able to replicate it. We've come close in some terms and events, but never truly been able to replicate it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was truly like last turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I remember it was awesome.
it was cool.
It's pretty sweet.
So just wrapping up, you got the 141 event coming up this weekend.
Yep.
You got the off-season / CJ show.
Yep.
That you guys are going to be kicking off in, what, about a month?
I don't know. Whenever we decide to do it.
Okay, whenever the schedule.
Pretty loose. Pretty loose program around there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're changing it up. Obviously, we started the off season 2 years ago, I think, after PRI, and then last year we kind of revamped it a little bit, and now this year we're gonna revamp it again. We're gonna do it less. We're gonna do it like twice a month, and only have a guest like once a month probably, and we're gonna go try to be just less racing, honestly.
Yeah.
At least in the industry, just be more racing in general, but more anything, right? From dirt track to pavement racing to RC racing to a whole lot of different things. I've been blacklisted enough from talking about short course, so we'll just leave that to you guys and Ryan Beat and whoever else wants to make one and move on. So
Well, you guys, when you made the off season and you came on, you kind of like legitimized the whole podcasting about off road. I guess that's what pushed us. Like we were at SEMA, and he was pushing me. He's like, let's do an off road one. He already had his sports one, and I'm like, all right, let's.
do you have another one? Do you still do it?
Yeah, I do a Wisconsin sports one every week.
Dang.
200 and I think yesterday we recorded 268. I think it was 268 episodes.
You're committed.
Yeah.
You're committed. Are you on that too?
No.
He
I don't
said
know.
we.
Well,
Does he
he's
got mouse in his
he's got
pocket?
another- He's got another guy.
Yeah, I have a buddy that I do that one with. Started
Okay.
during COVID, drinking beers at a buddy's house. He's like, all you do is talk about sports, and threw a microphone at me and my buddy, and we've, like I said, 260 some episodes
It's
later.
freaking awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you 3 Packer players right now, so I wouldn't be very good on that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I'm not statistically not good. I know quite a bit about short course, but that's about it, and that's even pushing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But
well,
if you could get Jake Kosmecki and Nolan on here together with you, you want to talk about stats like NASCAR, short course. I know Nolan like supposedly knows everything about baseball.
Oh.
So
I have
some
a
people
buddy.
that you could get on here and just do like some crazy stats questions.
Yeah, I have a buddy that if you ask him what happened in a Packer game like 10 years ago, he'll be able to tell you how many yards the wide receiver had, who scored touchdown. I'm like, dude,
That's
how?
wild.
I was like, how?
That's wild.
Yeah, I was like, how is that even possible?
your memory of races is already like, I'm like, okay.
Yep.
I knew there was this thing and that thing, but you filled in all the blanks. But you were there. You were,
I was there.
yeah. So,
Yep.
what sociables can they find you on? All of them?
All of them. Yep. CJ Greaves, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm there. Not very often, but I'm there. Kinda.
Perfect.
Getting better.
Yeah.
Or Impulse Media's YouTube channel is where I post all my vlogs because I don't have my own. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why I don't have my own, but lately we just posted them on there.
There is a Greaves one.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, it ain't by us.
Well, I keep on tagging them.
On YouTube?
Yeah.
Huh. Maybe I should try to recover that.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Collect the.
Now I know.
He learned something new.
Now I know. By the time I leave, probably forget it.
Yeah.
It's all right.
I'll text you and make sure you'll read it and then
collect that YouTube channel, brother.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome. Well, we really appreciate you coming on, especially after a busy season, and you still got a busy weekend
Always
coming
busy.
ahead of you. And
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been sweet seeing your guys' clips. That's what I watch, is the Instagram clips. So if you post stuff on Instagram, I'll hear it. I'll see it. So
Yes.
yeah,
it's been cool. Glad you guys jumped on the off-road podcast trend with us.
Yeah.
And now it's yours. It's all yours from here.
all right. We'll try to do the best we can with it.
So big shoes to fall.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hey, you're already way more professional than we are. You came with printed out papers that things talk about.
Well, we'll have to have you on a few times during the season then to fill in the blanks of
Count me
what's
in.
going on during the season.
Count me in. I'm always here.
Awesome. Appreciate it.
Sweet. Thanks, guys.
All right. Yep. Thanks.